Bands on the track. The best beat on the beat.
How you supposed to have light if you got solar missing? Everything seemed bright with solar vision. A whole court and a witness, nobody know this missing. I'm my own judge, jury, and a co-defendant. It ain't an idol with the solar image. Get to the core, my nigga, no pretending. Hotter than Jamie Foxx on the solar mission. Melchizedek, no beginning nor an ending. Ain't no need to study long if you gon' study wrong. Got me chasing the ghost with no lily bones. Blew a hustle anywhere but never hustle home. Mama pray for it so cause he ain't coming home. Watch you doctrine get demolished. Bluetooth polished for YouTube scholars. I do for novice, not no stupid dollars. My new bravado make them hoop and holler in the lead for the light breakers. Illuminati, you ain't doing nada. And blue ain't bother. Can't be rolling with you with no stupid mock. And no Candace Owens, I don't do Kamala. Free flowing up this new Kabbalah. Human in the garden, hit a human olive. And you can get this stick with no soup inside. Blue seat asylum on a Cuban island. My newest challenge is live a long life. Can't nobody live it for you. You gon' live your own life. Right place, wrong time. I'm in the valley where the bones drop. I prophesy to the bones ride. How you supposed to have light if you got solar missing? Everything seemed bright with solar vision. A whole court and a witness, nobody know this missing. I'm my own judge, jury, and a co-defendant. It ain't an idol with the solar image. Get to the core, my nigga, no pretending. Hotter than Jamie Foxx on the solar mission. Melchizedek, no beginning nor an ending. Wake up, Jacob, tell him it's urgent. Identify me by the blessings, never the curses. Walk on water, but I never submerging. You a goon on Zoom, but never in person. My verses merge with the ancient letters. My rating's good, but my ranking's better. You soft as Wayne and baby slather. If I bring my best, you can't do better. Local natives, surrounded by the foreigners. The throne of David, the crown is Moorish. I can anoint the babies and crown the poorest. I'm rolling out, I found the forest. Lex told me keep a head and a leg up. Y'all ride with a tank at your head, bruh. Consul told Blue, keep your bread up. Seen solar at the door like Lamba. Yeah, I'm shooting for the top like Rick Berry. Sneaking baseline trying to Rick Parrish. This is where your talking points get perished. Just to be a champion like Chris Harris. How you supposed to have light if you got solar missing? Everything seemed bright with solar vision. A whole court to witness, nobody know this missing. I'm my own judge, jury, and a co-defendant. It ain't an idol with the solar image. Get to the core, my nigga, no pretending. Hotter than Jamie Foxx on the solar mission. Melchizedek, no beginning nor an ending.
I'm affiliated. 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 I'm affiliated with the folks. I'm affiliated with the lords. I'm affiliated with the stones. I'm affiliated with the fours. I'm affiliated with the bloods. I'm affiliated with the crips. I'm affiliated with the thugs. And be affiliated with the shit. I'm affiliated. 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 I grew up in the streets and met some real niggas trying to find something to eat. And met some real bitches trying to find something to free. Got the plug on the weed, the D got the plug on the heats, the beats. Now we charging niggas for fee. We couldn't get free for nothing. Now it's nothing for free. We used to get weed for hundreds. Now we sell hundreds of weed. Used to keep heat in the house. Now we keep heat under the seat. Tripping come from under the seat. Put your bitch ass under a sheet. Bitch, I'm from the G. We moved the nap and got the plug. Now we thugging the peace. We got that bag and now we laugh when it come to the beef. These bitches used to swear to God they wouldn't fuck us for free. And now these hoes dying trying to suck us to sleep. Keep your yay outside, round with that K outside. Back when you can play outside, my niggas will stay outside. Just know on my grave I ride. Every motherfucking day I grind. to the motherfucking day I die. Disrespect the way that I'm affiliated. 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 I'm affiliated with the folks. I'm affiliated with the Lords. I'm affiliated with the Stones. I'm affiliated with the Fords. I'm affiliated with the Bloods. I'm affiliated with the Crips. I'm affiliated with the Thugs. I'm affiliated with the shit. I'm affiliated. 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 You with the Lord got initiated. Love with the game and the syndicated. I be the king got it vindicated. I'm with the shipment the gang gang. We on the streets on the chain gang. Blood and blood out of we gang gang. We all is one of the same thing. Don't let this nigga go bang bang. Blaza the shimmy the woo woo. GD the cripple the suwu. Keitra KK and phone now. Willie Lil Manny and Bo now. Affiliated we connect. Affiliated we respect. Better never disrespect. Baby coming to correct. Affiliated like Concord. Pit block be the vice lord. Rapified like a money bag. Almighty or a body bag. Bitch you know we going global. Bitch you know we ain't low. Global thugs our color green. Anything else voting. The man is not allowed to fly a plane in his own country, but you want to convince the world that this man is not only a threat to his neighbors, but he's a threat to the entire human family. You are a liar. Liar, and the people are intellectual cowards who sit down and suck up this filthy lie. Man, I've been rapping for a minute, I don't see how niggas hate on me. Swab boss, the greatest motherfucker should wait on it. Even if my album drops 10 years from now, nigga, it's gonna be the hardest album out 10 years from now, nigga. The Swab boss, you niggas should see that shit. Whatever I am in the old niggas should be that shit. Whatever they say they gon' come, I don't agree with it. Just had a couple of my hoes to come and be with it. Man, it's Swab boss. The reason why these niggas get hard off if 100 niggas die. For this cost is a small cost. I'm trying to get my people on their feet again, nigga. But I'm back smoking weed, drinking Hennessy, nigga. And maybe that's why I'm not back on my shit. It's why I'm off from 2-6 and moved out to Love Prince. A couple people from Phil. Now we know we love shit. Now they know they should quit. Trying to make it hood rich. All that bullshit on your man, oh, I wish you would spit. Niggas know what I'm about, and they wish I would flip. Niggas ask about the track, they wanna hear that shit. But when I ask to do a track, they don't hear that shit, man. And that's the type of shit that I don't say, man. Niggas know from the go that I don't play, man. Coming straight from the street, no, I can't straight, man. Can't fucking with him, 'cause he don't pay, man.
Why are the Europeans so insecure about other people in the world? And why do you, everywhere you go, you gotta kill and murder the rest of the people of the human family? Your history is written in the blood of the black, the brown, the yellow, and the red. Why are you so insecure? Do you know what brings about insecurity? What brings about insecurity is when you have a false concept of yourself. And the false concept of self is white supremacy. They believe that they are better because they are white. And as a result, see, when a man has that kind of silly mentality, Hitler had the silly mentality that the white man, the Aryan, is superior. So then at the Olympics, Jesse Owens kicks up all the Aryans. Hitler is outraged. He's angry.
That's very simplistic.
Yeah. Well, you need it to be simplistic. You need it to be extra simplistic.
You see, they can't even take
The reality. Oh no, they can't. They can't handle. You know, look. When you take a brick, and you hurl the brick among a pack of dogs, only the dog who gets hit yelps. Think about it.
We need new intro songs. That's right. Phoenix back again. Shout out to Melanated Goddess, Maya, Aisha, Alpha, and it's all who comment. Man, Black Power was the boy Swab Boss, man, of SVDL, the AOI, snapping off. Shout out to Bing on the track, Z on the cam, that's snapping off, fam. Shout out to Solar Vision Debate League. Shout out to Solar Man, the commissioner of the greatest debate league on Earth, Solar Vision Debate League. Shout out to the AOI, Gold Man, Brandon Bay, Pooh, Pro Black, Wicked, Radical, Ground Zero, Hurricane Katrina, of the King James 13 Anti-Bully Inc., a nonprofit organization aimed at preventing bullying by bringing awareness to it. Shout out to the judges. Shout out to the peers. Shout out to the most important people in the world, the people of SVDL. Let me see if I can find a link to the new channel. And here it is. That's right, man. The playoffs is starting May 1st on the Zombie Nation channel. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're there. You need to be there. Let's look at it. Domo versus Lance. Is it appropriate to prefer the ancient people as black and white? Let me put my mic on. So maybe y'all can hear me better. Just maybe. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. It's connected, right? All right, what are we doing? Okay, yeah. So, Domo versus Lance. Is it appropriate to prefer the ancient people as black and white? I appreciate that. We'll try to get some new songs. I appreciate you. Tolerate the ones that's up there now. That's crazy. But yeah, Domo versus Lance. Is it appropriate to prefer the ancient people as black and white? Swab Boss versus Good God Allah. Does Islam condone sleeping with minors? Blue versus Battle Wax. Stemya versus Yahweh. Taz moves on to the divisional round. T-Duck also moves on to the divisional round. Emac versus Asar. The Egyptian religion originated in Africa or the Middle East. Also, Hal versus Akmalak. Is there an afterlife? And Madan versus Anonymous. Did less than 100,000 slaves come to the Americas during the transatlantic slave trade? So that's what it is. You don't want to miss these. Starting off May 1st. I got to get a list of the dates. This is crazy. I got to get a list of dates. But start off May 1st with Swab Boss and Good God Allah. Who's been missing in action? I don't think he's going to show up. He ain't did no promo, did nothing. That is crazy. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Also, we still got the race for MVP between these three gentlemen. That's where? That's right where? Right here. Domo coming in first for the MVP. Ranking 907, ranking number one, accumulating 979 points, putting them in a great position for that MVP. Also coming in second, Blue being rapid fire king, accumulating 139 rapid fire points, in second for the MVP. And the Tsar being up the rear, but still in the race for MVP. So congratulations to them. Good luck on that journey right there. Yeah, man. Ah, yes, it's Swab Boss. Let's see what we gonna do today. I think I got a lot of work. Accumulated a lot of subscribers. You know what I'm saying? Got a lot of YouTube seconds in over there. So we don't. And because you're Caucasian and you call yourself white, you're pure. Excuse me. Wow, two of them. Because when we look, you're doing some of the worst atrocities on earth. You know what I'm saying? And if you disagree with what the brother said, if you disagree with what I said, I dare you to really study and translate it. Like not just for some nonsense. I dare you to study from conception to end, and then look at
look at the companies now and the profit. So I'm starting getting all this information. You know that these people, after like this is abolished the slave trade, they gave these people $20 million. That's the equivalent of giving people $1 billion today.
Hold on, y'all. Let me do it like this. So we get to it until we get, please, no pseudo hour already. Israelite Eternal Heritage School, what's good with you? What's good with you? What's good with you? Please, no pseudo hour today. I already did my hour work. Can't laugh anymore. Well, I don't think it gets pseudo for a good little while, I think. But this just until we get some brothers on the panel, we can run it like that. Let me see. And you didn't go back and catch the beginning of it anyway, so you might catch something. Let's see.
Not the slave who work without money. I'm talking about the slave owners.
Oh.
So like my daughter said, their son.
No, I like reading, and I'm thinking that's why I went into like liking history and documentary. See what you are. You know what I'm saying? Like you, he says Black Lives Matter is guilty of reverse racism, which doesn't exist. You guys are part of the problem, not the solution. I've never seen you before. You literally haven't.
Because one of
go to the native.
The reservation.
Oh.
The statistics of what's happening on reservations look just like our statistics, except it becomes worse when you deal with alcoholism and things like that. We didn't fucking help you. We put you in a position of lack. And you say, hey, but you know what? You self-government, so it's cool. You know why we can't get it together? Because we're too busy facing each other and taking to the front and we say, they hate us, they want to kill us. I love it. Okay, I love you, bro. Oh, you were sick, whatever, nigga, I love you, bro. If I can help you, I can. If I can't help you, I'm at least not gonna hurt you.
I ain't gonna be in your fucking way.
I ain't gonna be in your way. I ain't gonna shoot you. I ain't gonna kill you. Like, what we doing?
Oh, no, that's true, bro.
The dopest pastor I ever knew that taught me everything on how to really look at the Bible. All head. And he was like, listen, I know that you are what. And something I know is that when you're married for 10 years and your wife still be baby. The dopest. What's up? The dopest pastor I knew, he said, look, and I live off this. Because you're a young preacher and everybody hating on you, but you get stuff done. He said, I can't help you, I won't hurt you. No, if I can't help you, I won't hurt you. You look just like me. I'm arguing with you. I want to help you, listen, truth be told. But if I can't, I'm not going to hurt you. If we have that as our universal slogan as Black people, it would transcend our community. Just that alone.
And just to let everybody know, watching right now on the Argument League, we do have the new channel. The Solar is directing everybody to. Let me put the link in the chat. That is the new channel. That's where the playoffs are going to be held at. Right there. So
And if you listen and watching, come on, help us. This is where we start to build it. Try to build. Not try to work.
That's what everybody else. So I see it's like 8 people in the new channel, and it's like 5 people in the argument league. Those 5, you can go to the new channel, and so you can see the comments that everybody else is making over there. I don't know, but yeah, my bad. I mean, no disrespect. They just capitalize off it. Stop sucking. Oh yeah. So yeah, but and I was on. Because everybody, how did Egypt fall? How did white people get in charge? How did white people get in charge? How did white people get to the point where they could paint this narrative that we were always ignorant and subclass of human and woo, 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 this, that, and the other? How was the history that we know to exist as far as black empires, African empires, being established and, providing universities, medical centers, stuff like that. We see all the astrological monuments and all of the complex languages and the lack of tools that goes into making a lot of this work that we know exists. So it's like going into the history. And it was funny because Lance, who's in the building, shout out to Lance, brought it up yesterday, Alexander the Great. And the things that happened around this time. Now, I'm still getting, used to the information, terminology, the names and all of that stuff. The dates. Some people don't deal with time. But seeing what the Greco-Romans did, what the Persians did, as far as the crackers coming in and nestling up under us. Oh, educators, sophisticators, civilizers, give us culture. And then once that's developed, they trade on us. They start taking over from a privileged position to the point where now they're fighting amongst themselves. They didn't got so much now. Now they beef. What up, though? Lance in the building. What's good? How the kids doing?
Shit, just took him back to his mama, nigga. I'm good now. I'm free.
You enjoyed that room?
Oh yeah, man. They enjoyed that shit. We do that shit twice a month though. I just ain't did it in the last 4 months or so. But since they did all the real daddies out there, bro. Family vacation. All the real daddies out there. Yeah, me and the ex used to do that shit for them, so we decided to keep up the tradition. So they was used to that shit. Just keep doing it. She don't ever come like this. I agree with you when we do it. Just do something. If you do the important thing, you might not want to start that. Nah, we enjoy it, man, because it's a getaway. Without having to spend that much money, they still feel like they're getting away. If you can't do it, though, other shit. Like, yeah, we do it. We do a bunch of shit just like this. Like, so it's on the mind. They know they getting what they did or whatever. Everybody can't do that. And the kids do like this. I balled out on these chicks when I go out and take them out. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm single now. But I did the same thing when I was married. I wanted to entertain myself to have company. So I decided that my money is already set up to sustain a family and I'm single. So why not ball out on my kids, bro? So we do a lot of going up. Everybody ain't like that though, bro. Everybody ain't like that. Yeah, it's on my line. My mom and them didn't take us out of town. Think I ain't go out of town until I was grown. Except Ohio doing shit like that. We in Detroit. But my kids already been to 2 countries and motherfucking the Bahamas. Jackson 5 is the 912, so shit, bro. They already set. Their minds are different. You know what I'm saying? Bro. Like, this why you need wives. I would have taken care of my kids if I was a single dad, right? It was my wife that taught me to make sure that my kids got passports. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, my wife made sure my 3-year-old got a passport. My 3-year-old got more passports stamps on his birth than I had by the time I was 18. Yeah, that's my point. Don't even start on my 6-year-old. Like, that's what real solid women gonna do, bro. Like, I don't care how solid you think you is, man. Because that's what you think you're gonna try. You know, that woman, they should have helped you. Yeah, she definitely helped me level up. I ain't, you know, I don't think we was there for each other, but she definitely helped me to level up as far as, you know, even though I was in the medical field, I really wasn't sensitive to, like, until you actually take your kids to the doctor's appointment and get rid of them late at night for that ear infection, or, you know what I'm saying, take them to, you know, whatever the case, until you actually doing it, be up in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, taking them to emergency, and nothing but blah, 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 you know what I'm saying, day in and day out, until you actually go through that shit, bro, you actually attach yourself. That's real. That's real.
Coexisting, the same word, yeah.
No, that's real, man. That's a good ass point, bro. I pray we get that. I pray that black men especially get that. You know the most detrimental part about child support and all of this, not paying child support or whatever it is. Nobody's forcing you to be there every day for your kids. Like, that's what a marriage or a relationship or at least somebody giving you responsibility, that's what it does. Something forcing you to be there every day. And when your kids get diarrhea, when they have an accident and they get put in the bed and all of that, you gotta watch the kids, you gotta be there. You can't make them feel like crap either. Like, I didn't see my dad do that. All I knew was my mom doing that. I didn't know that dad was supposed to see involved in that until I did it. That's a big deal, bro. Them kids look at you differently. And the mama, when your kid come to you and say, "Daddy, can you give me some cereal?" Or "Daddy, can you give me some?" You know what I'm saying? The mama first told that they know kids in their life. Right. Right. It's something to go to for that lets you know how involved you are. Ask your brother. That's a good ass point, bro. That's a good ass point. Me and my wife joke now. My wife's like, this is crazy. This is a joke between me and my wife. We had this joke the other day. I'm gonna let y'all, I'm being transparent for you. My wife is going to really help me go to gym, right? And so, one of the things my wife said was like, if you get locked up, you're going to trouble. Like, I love you, but I'm not scared of that. You're too smart, you're too educated, you got too much eyes, and fix it. You know too much to keep fucking around in these streets. Right? So now, fortunately to the point where I learned so much, my wife just said, if you ready to get in trouble now, I'll take the case because you better with the kids. Somebody said that to me yesterday, boy. I was tired on the inside like a whole way. If I see you still like, bro, it's like my wife. You know, if something will happen, I I'll say the case for you. You better be scared for this point.
Yeah, that feels good, though.
Yeah, bro, I ain't saying everybody gonna reach that level. Yeah, man.
I mean, but that should be the goal, man, to get back to like we was, man. I'm from the old school where, you know what I'm saying, black families, you know what I'm saying, on beaches, real. Whole family on the beach. Daddy, you have to make daddy come, he gonna come.
He gonna come, bro. Whether he wants to or not.
Whether he wants to or not, he gonna get away. He might bring his radio so he can listen to the motherfucking game.
Bro, that is my life, man. I'm telling you, I got yelled up on my wife for taking a laptop on vacation. But I had to go, like, bro.
It taught me a lot, you know what I'm saying? Being married, I'm not good at that shit at all.
Yeah, I'm not either, bro. Like, I love my situation. Like, I know, like, to tell you, I get on her nerves. I know I do, bro. I know I do, because I'm so specific and anal, and everything got to be a certain way, and all of this. She loves me through it all. She ain't a better man.
Mm-hmm.
We'll lose the draw. She decide tomorrow, I decide tomorrow. You know what, this say what? Our kids is going to be okay. My wife's going to be okay. Because we set a standard, bro. I'm not advocating living up in the board, that's all I'm saying. But you can be mature enough to still have a family unit and y'all don't even live in the same house.
Absolutely.
That's one thing that I do admire about you, bro. Like, I gotta give you credit for that.
I appreciate that, bro. But appreciate it, bro. It ain't no credit needed for no man to take care of his kids and be a daddy. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this: it's women that can't take that shit today. They can't take that the kids is going to the daddy, or asking to be over the daddy, or daddy spending more time with the kids. Like, there's a lot of women that can't take that shit. You know what I'm saying? They think that you're going to overthrow them and their so-called authority if they have custodial custody. I mean, main custody over them. But me and mine, bro, she ain't no team player at all, but she lazy as hell, so she gonna let me do me with my kids. Drop the babies off to the what you call that shit?
Yeah, for the daycare,
Yeah, daycare and Girl Scout. And do you want to go to Zanaya Place? Yeah, don't you want to go? No, just put it in my position. Don't you? You want to go to? She don't want to do that shit, but she know the kids need that shit though.
Yeah, I'm a good brother. I'm a validated stuff. So I'm experiencing on both ends real time. You know, my actual physical wife, we build a family with our two youngest, with my oldest, not situation before. And I'm not even going into detail because I know y'all judge me too. But my daughter, my oldest daughter, knows the decision to come to. Like, yeah, I don't hate my mom, but it's more science, it's more structure. And my dad's house. So she knows. You know what? Honestly, bro, I mean, honest with you, I was paying so much money at the time. She had her food was straight. She had everything she wanted. She just wanted the structure. She didn't get it. She had more freedom. Like honestly, bro, you know, I work from home. I'm in her business all day. I watch everything she does. I monitor everything. You would think that a 16-year-old would want the other situation. She chose to have more structure because it's more love. It's just good. It's just real.
Yeah.
And her mom can't answer that. Fuck my mother. She took it out. She took it out on the kids, man. Took it out on the kids, bro. And dad did this to me, so I'm not attacking the man. You a man or
I mean, you know, bro, I'm gonna say this, A9, before you finish, bro, if you don't mind. I think that the kids belong to the dad, and the moms are there to help the dads raise them. That's how I feel, bro. The family, why do the family get the dad's last name? That whole family here. The moms are there to help him raise the children. They're theirs, but they're here. That's his seed.
All my kids got my last name. That's crazy. I was shipping off that the other day when I was perfect.
I wouldn't have it no other fucking way. And you know, first I thought that our last name was a slave name, so I'm like, yo, that shit don't matter. But this shit do matter because them are people's last names, bro. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. Nigga, I'm a Murray. I'm proud of that shit now.
I'm gonna be honest though, bro. Like for me, like I'm not mad at her. I understand the pain that she's going through, but I do my best to be respectful to that. But I take my responsibility as a father at this point, please.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm not the best. I wasn't the best dad during my son's time. Me and him close, and I wasn't financially set.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, one day he told me he been apologized since then. He's 23, but he hurt my feelings when we was younger. And he was like, he said something in his mind. I think he was like 17 years old, and he wrote a dope ass rhyme. And he said something along the line, "Wasn't no pop around or something." I'm like, nigga, what the fuck you mean? Wasn't no pop around? He was like, Dad, I wasn't saying you wasn't around, and that's just a part of the flow. I was just saying, you know, he said a role model. Hey, what the fuck you mean? He was like, I was saying you're not no role model. I'm like, what the fuck you mean? I'm not the role model, nigga. I'm the best thing you got in your fucking life. What the fuck you talking about? He was like, you know, Dad, you don't got no, you're not successful. You don't got no businesses. You just buying a house like you 30-some years old. Like he was trying to break me down and shit. I was like, hold on, man. You're gonna regret those words one day. And I ain't even in the mood to chop you up right now, but I'm the best thing you ever had happen to you. Nigga, I loved you from the day you came. Before you came here, I already knew what you was gonna be.
Be right here, man. Hold on.
I'm like, I'm the one who named you, nigga. Your mama didn't have no control over none of that because it was mine. And I've been there every day since then. And so we let that pass. He became like 20, 21 or so, and I brought it up to him. The nigga started crying like, man, dog, Dad, I'm so sorry. Like, bro, like, you dope, Dad. Like, he broke it down. He like, I didn't know no better. I thought that, you know, a role model should be somebody to, you know, he talking about the dope nigga. At this time, he talking about Lil Wayne and them. I'm like, bro, them niggas not no role model, bro. He was like, I know, man. That was like what was on my mind at the time. I didn't have the right understanding. And I'm sorry. I was like, yeah, you hurt me, man. You really hurt. Yeah, but you still got this rap out here saying you ain't had no dad to have a role model. Now this shit is out. Put the album out 2-3 years ago, nigga. Shit. Damage is done. Make another rap. Make another song. Big up me, nigga. Hell. Big up your parents, nigga. We didn't know. We had you at 24, nigga. I was 24 years old when you came into this world. I just got out of the military, medical assistant. Your mama got pregnant. We had no idea that she was pregnant. Well, I didn't know she was pregnant. I didn't tell him everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, I didn't even know you was mine. Nigga, she had a boyfriend. I found out in the midst of the shit. He was like, Dad, you don't gotta go through all of that. So I'm like, nigga, it's time for you to know the damn truth, nigga. He ain't like that shit, but he understood. I told him the truth. And he had it all twisted. Like, you know, when you're not going over there and check on your kids, bro, them women put anything in their head, bro. Anything.
Melanated Goddess in the building, peace.
Oh, God. The hell she won't. But you got to come on here and cut me out, Melanated Goddess. Every time I'm talking about baby mamas and all of that, you come to cut me. I'm waiting. Not scared of you. I'm not scared of you.
He's 25. You got to like the sister, man.
Hey, melanated.
Melanated is my heart, so that's my sister, bro.
He's the crying man. You know, his ex-wife really hurt him. And he decides to be butthurt every time he gets on the camera and this topic comes up.
I've just been nothing but uplifted. What are you talking about? You see that?
I gotta step away for a minute. I'm gonna step away for a minute, but y'all keep holding it down. Don't leave my brother's squad by itself.
Never that. You know. Shout out to you.
Shout out to you, man. I love you too.
Love you too, brother A9. To the goddess over there holding your family down. So I've always given enough respect and props. They go.
She's doing her thing because I'm a handful.
That you are. You be going in.
That's the thing I know to do.
Yeah. I'm just saying, the thing happen. So I like to, join in to bring a little bit of balance because, there's certain brothers that like to use words like a lot of women or most women, X, Y, and Z. And I was thinking to myself, if I joined the panel and I spoke and I said a lot of men or most men, everybody would say, no nigga is bitter, he got no man, he first, he this, he that. They will have so much derogatory stuff to say, but when a man jumps in the panel, it says, in general,
who are you to check?
I understand that what I'm saying may be triggering, but at least allow me to finish what I'm saying. My sentence.
It's the same thing.
Right? Just allow me to finish. Just allow me to finish. And then when I'm done, I will go on mute. So you can respond in any kind of which way. I will not interrupt you.
Nothing to respond to.
Okay, therefore, I don't know why you're speaking then. There's nothing to respond. I was speaking. So like I was saying, is that if I was to jump on a panel and say most men, a lot of men, X, Y, and Z, it would not be a cool thing. I think most people would view me, that I am taking my particular situation and generalizing it to most men. They would say that I was a hurt and bitter woman and I was projecting that on most men. Right? The entire Black community. I know so many Black people that are co-parenting and are happy and they don't involve the child support system. And even those who are, I know many of them who are paying child support because they just do it as they are supporting their child, right? Not every man who is part of this quote unquote system is disgruntled about that system. They don't have to interact all the time with their child's mother. They have visitation and they are happy to contribute to the care of their child, right? But some people are disgruntled about that whole process. And what they do is they project it amongst all women. So now when the child is with their parents, with their other parents, then they're lazy, right? That's what I heard. Or they lazy, they happy that the child. You're supposed to see your kid. What the hell, right? It don't matter if I'm busy or lazy. Like, you're supposed to have your child. Like, I don't get a label because you're having visitation. Like, so it's a lot of those little sneak dishes, those little, being catty, those type of things. Yeah, those things are noticed. And it's not the most, it doesn't come across as a person holding themselves accountable. Does it come across very manly? Does it come across very fatherly? Does it come across parental at all? It comes across as if you want to pat on your back for doing what you're supposed to already be doing. So I would just, I know I said a lot, so I would just leave it right there. And I'm going
You ain't saying nothing. Go ahead, baby.
I agree with you. Y'all right to build a peace to you, big bro. It's real hard for people to sit back and say and hear someone speak on something that could be misinterpreted or directly interpreted to mean them. You know what I'm saying? And just let somebody rock out just to get their point out. People are very defensive. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason. It comes with, I guess, experience and I guess accountability. A few things could make that better, but I like to say we don't got to get a clause no more, but I always get a clause. There are exceptions to everything. When we say all or every or never, there's no absolutes. It's a matter of speaking. Like I always eat at McDonald's. No, you don't, but I eat at McDonald's enough to say that I always eat at McDonald's. What the fuck was that? So yeah, I see your point. Absolutely. Yeah. What's good, y'all, Rob?
Yeah. What's going on? Peace to the panel, man.
What's good, brother?
Yeah, new time, new location. What's going on with you, man? It's many guys in the building. Swamp House in the building, Lance in the building. Peace to you, my sister.
Y'all out. Peace to you, brother.
Peace. Anytime I hear someone give a hasty generalization, as the sister was saying, like all this or every that or mostly this or mostly that, I already know your information is faulty, right? Because you not have, and not only that, I know you're only speaking from a personal sphere of experience. And I didn't say fear, I said sphere, like a little small globe, that little ball of experience in your life that somehow you determine that means all or most. When you grow, when most of us, on average, know less, even with 6 degrees of separation, you know less than 0.1% of the population, and that's still a lot. So you don't know all or everything or most.
If we refer to something I think I said a lot of these women today.
Well, even a lot. That's the same. That's the same thing. You can't use that. No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
Well, you can't because
it's not a little brother.
I don't know why you just tried to make the conversation about you. She simply had No. Okay, hold on. Let's get back to y'all Ra's. Hold on. One second. Let's get back to y'all Ra's statement. Then, for whatever reason, y'all want to fall out, we can still do that. But if she comes on, and I just said it's hard for people to sit back and let somebody get their point out when it could even be misinterpreted or adequately interpreted to your ass. And that's what he did. She said, whenever you say ever, never, all, and he came in not saying none of that shit, but said, I said most, a lot. Then we're not talking to you. Like, and there's no reason to cut the man out. Like, if you think it's something you said, cool, you can address that. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't look at it like that. I didn't look at it like that. I mean, it was a conversation. Maybe it was said, but I'm lame on you and Melanated Goddess history, obviously. So go ahead, y'all. Right, get your point out there. We'll let.
I want the sister to speak. She was trying to say something. We enough of these hard legs on these panels. I wish she goes on our panel even more because we need to hear that side of wisdom.
Yeah.
So
I was asking what percentage, right? So if we're going to talk about what a lot is, right? Then I would prefer for you not to be selective on what a lot you're going to consider, right? Because if you're going to say a lot of these women this, are you also aware that a lot of these women, let's say, don't visit their kids? A lot of these women quit their job so they don't have to pay house for it. Like, I mean, but we're not going to know that. I mean, because I would be really bitter if I brought those things up, right? I would be really negative. I would be really negative. I would be harping, and I would be a man behavior, and all of these things. If I brought up all of the derogatory things, right, about what the man does, a lot of, right? A lot of our fathers are incarcerated. A lot of them are absent, right? That sounds horrible for me to say, right? But if we want to talk about a lot, we have no idea what a lot is. Is a lot 40%? Is a lot 30%? Is a lot 80%? What the heck is a lot, right? So, like, I hope you don't go into your debate saying things like a lot, because that we don't know what the heck that means. But for me as a woman, I'm asking you, what the fuck do you mean by a lot?
I don't think I have to qualify a casual conversation.
Okay, so you don't have to qualify a casual conversation.
Right.
You can make sweeping comments. You can make sweeping comments around the whole gender of black women.
The conversation was not about black women. The conversation was about black men being fathers. I don't know, when you came on the panel, you missed the whole conversation then.
So the conversation was about black men being fathers to mixed race children. But what are you talking about?
Mixed race children.
Well, I'm going to say, right, that I heard my brother, Anonymous Hebrew, he definitely was making it clear that he was talking about black families. I don't know what conversation you were having I don't know, Lance Murray. I don't know what conversation you were having, but Anonymous Hebrew was definitely talking about the black family, right? And he was talking about fathers, and he was talking about mothers, right? And your response, the minute that you start talking about there being some sort of equilibrium, there's being some sort of partnership, he starts talking about that. Your response, you can say that. A lot of these women, Mr. Bitter, right? You Mr. Bitter. You Mr. Bitter. And all I'm saying is, so my comment was, if I would have came on this panel, I heard you got to keep repeating your question. If I would have came on this panel, and if I would have been, point out everything the black father does wrong.
Melanated. You be mad disrespectful. You expect a certain amount of respect, but your mouth.
Hold on, Lance. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, man, no, she gonna get
disrespecting you. Hold on, Lance. We're not going to do that, bro.
Brother,
this is where we. Hold on, bro.
What are you calling disrespectful?
Because somewhere you feel less than adequate as a man. See, let me explain something to you. Hold on, Lance. Let me explain something to you. There is nothing and no one in this universe can make me feel less than who I know who I am. Not not my children, not my mother, not my father, not my wife, not my brother, not my sister. You know why? Because I know what I've done as a man and as a human being. And no one can take that away from me. So I don't care. Hold on. Listen, bro. Listen to what I'm telling you. If a white man calls me a nigga, he's not hurting my feelings. And he's not being disrespectful to me. And let me preface that. What he's doing is showing his ignorance of who I am. And then he has to face the consequences of that. You understand? So it doesn't matter what anyone says. If you say you feel disrespected, it's because somewhere you have an inadequacy. That you have as an adult. As an adult, it don't matter. That as an adult.
Y'all can't hear that audio. Let me see. I refuse to.
You're supposed to have your power. Like,
I don't, the conversation about it. I'm thinking about black men being fathers to make race children.
Oh, yeah. That do sound awful, don't it? Okay, my bad. It sound good on your end? I'm about to say, man. It kind of doesn't sound crazy. It sound bad. Well, I've been living, trying to handle a business. My bad. What's up, MG? You just don't want to hear you cuss Lance out. You don't want to hear you jumping on here drunk yesterday. That's my propaganda I'm pushing out. Y'all can destroy you later. Jumping on Lance with both feet. Y'all wasn't the only one. Hey, motherfuckers be bad as hell, man. Y'all be simping. Man, my bag, man. Yeah, just straightening some shit up. Damn, that's crazy. Hold on.
When she made my grandfather, and they went into the whole spread, the USA Today, and people advertising, and they got a website. All of this funny exercise, but he had great grades. He was like an excellent student.
So we could accumulate a nice little audience over here for the playoffs starting May 1st. Thank y'all.
No, but it's not. I would just recommend anyone who has children, like very, very small children, or even early, like 7 years.
Yeah, no. I think it's just certain mic. Like your mic, I think Lance mic was it sounds muffled anyway. So especially on the playback. But like my mic, Yara Taz is like coming through more clear. I couldn't tell with Brother Goldman because I don't think he said much.
I would say when you said all about children, things that we need in order to do that. You see what I'm saying? We just not just go. Those people, like you mentioned, they just pick up and they drop everything. They quit their jobs. You see what I'm saying? They leave everything behind for their ideal way of life, right? What it means to be free. And I don't know if we're really ready to do that or not. It's like they face the future no matter what it is. And so I don't even care about being part of no technology. I don't care what happens. I'm getting the fuck away from this system before it collapses. And so we say that, but I guess my point is people live by that shit. You know what I'm saying? We never see them, we never hear from them, and we're just saying it, but it's people living that shit. We never see them, we'll never hear from them, and they're not trying to fit in with them about them. They send their kids to college. You know what I'm saying? They're preparing them for in business. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think we see them now, but in the beginning they were doing exactly what the other people were doing, saying, "Hey, we need to do something." And then through frustration, lack of progression, or for whatever they took, the few they had, the resource they had, and they ran. But the thing is to get an actual amount of numbers to be respected. You know what I'm saying? First within yourself and then abroad. So it's the whole frustration is due to the lack of progression. You know, it's like if you're upstairs in the house and somebody comes upstairs and says the whole downstairs is on fire, we shouldn't have to say that twice. And that's what we're living in. We're living in a situation where the stuff we said shouldn't even have to be said. But people have opinions and mouths to express them. And so we're here from hot, cold, and all in between, thinking, deciding which door to walk through. So I see what you said. I think both are needed because when one's not progression, the other one will. When the overt's not progression, the covert will. Then a lot of the times you need the people, you know, it's the Malcolm Martin thing, right? Like Malcolm made Martin talented. And, you know, Martin made Malcolm needed. He was like, no, I don't want to do that. And then they accepted the views of Malcolm. But without Martin, Malcolm would just be extreme. Because people would say, no, we need to do it nonviolently. But Martin King was that real time. So to me, it's just a grand experience that go across a lot of, you know what I'm saying, lines. And when you ask the question, when anybody asks a question, but when you ask the question to say, well, I gotta ask who we are, because we're not doing nothing. I would like to know the group of black people that's overtly or covertly getting land and doing something. I know we heard some about the people in Atlanta, but maybe they're successful in not talking to us about it. But I haven't heard nothing about it. I heard Rick Ross supposed to buy some goddamn land. Talking about people that get a whole damn spread in the USA Today, bro. They ain't hiding shit. They don't want to get a whole spread in the USA Today, and people advertising, and they got a website. You know what I'm saying? Some of that shit is, and it's like 20 black families. You know what I'm saying? Men, women, children, and instead of this being like that venture that you would say is something to be proud of, it just seems more like a look at us move. You know? For real. Yeah. You can find it. Yeah, they definitely broadcasting that they're doing it and shit. But it's like I said, it's what's the benefit of broadcasting it? You know what I'm saying? Like, because the legend knows you're gonna be right here. And because when I was talking about it with my channel, I was telling them, like, listen, man, you still live in a state in America, so it's possible because they have jurisdiction over wherever you build at. Keep like shut your fucking mouth. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because basically all they're doing is building another taxable community. And like once that happens, you back to square one.
You think so?
Yeah, because once they've been and see, this is where I don't really understand their purpose in doing what they did, and then, like Taz was just saying, advertising shit out the wazoo as if to say, okay, look at us now, because you think you're living in an unincorporated part of the U.S. where the U.S. government is still not going to come tax your ass?
Wait, brother, y'all right. If that's your goal not to be taxed, I can see you feeling like unsuccessful. I think, and I know sometimes I do try to recognize that, like, my life experience is just my life. Right. Growing up in a community where New York City is a melting pot, and it is extremely segregated. Mm-hmm. Don't let nobody tell you anything different. And they be like, oh, we all live around each other. Trust that. No, there's an Italian community, there's a Jewish community, there's the black community, there's the black American community, there's the black West Indian community, there's the Hispanic community, I heard of Spanish Harlem. It's very, very segregated, right? And when I look at the Jewish community in New York City, like you said, they're paying taxes. They have loads and loads of real estate that they own. They own real estate in their community, and they own real estate in the black community. All apartment buildings that black people live in are owned by Jewish people, right? So they own property, but in their community, they have their own school system. In New York City, they have their own school buses that pick up their kids from their the same yellow buses, but they got Jewish writing on it. You feel me? Then they taking them to Jewish school. There's their own hospital. So even if you're paying taxes, I don't know that it's just fair to have this mindset that if you're paying taxes, you're still being owned. I think at this juncture in the black community, we should strive for governing ourselves in our own police, because when there's a race that occurs, if there's one that occurs in the Jewish community, they handle it themselves. They're not calling NYPD. They handle that dude themselves. If this is a man beating up his wife, you see some Jewish police officer dude going and knocking on the door. He's handling that, right? So somehow they figured out they got their own municipalities, all of that stuff. And I think that we could strive for
It's unfair for us, melanated goddess, to do that with the Jews, though, because they were able to build when we were on plantations. A lot of those New York hospitals and stuff opened up in the 1850s when black people still weren't like we weren't even capable of getting anything started yet. And so a lot of that community's foundation is rooted in America allowing it to be. Then you double down in the 1950s and 1960s when the country started investing in those communities based on what happened in World War II. And so they've always had support in the investment of their communities, whereas we haven't. So it's an unfair comparison for us to look at them.
No, Pat, I wasn't comparing why we don't have those things. I agree with you. I was not. I wasn't saying why don't we have those things. I was saying that I don't think that those are things that we shouldn't strive to have.
Think that was back to square one? Yeah, when he said that back to square one, because to me,
I'm not saying that we all start from the same starting line and we all got the same advantages. And I'm not beating down on the black community like, why don't we have what they have? That's not what my point was. My point was that if they don't view, they still are paying property taxes, state taxes, whatever, right? So if they have a business, they still have to file tax for their business. Or like if they don't view those things as a drawback, then if we decide to isolate and we decide to have our own community, then we can view those things like being taxes as, well, we still under the foot of the white man. I mean, if we are able to have our own Hebrew schools or our own Buddhist schools or our own temples or whatever, and just be us, however we want to be, black, whatever we want to do with our families, we can pay fucking taxes and call it a day.
No, I mean, we pay taxes either way it goes. To me, the value system is the people. The people are the most important thing. So the fact that they were able to concentrate some numbers is a step to me. Because once we get there, we don't have to, as Taz say, broadcast what we're going to do. We don't even have to talk about it on the phone. We can have real face-to-face meetings about our investments, our plans, and our plans. So that's what it is. Claim is in the building about 15 Pringles at one time. Right in the end. Put all them chips back in that damn can and grab one chip, bro. Wow. Right, so he turned his mic on so we can hear him. So we can hear him. That we got to get rid of on this channel. Hey, fuck you, nigga. I'm not doing this. They know they're going to with me. You know, turn his mic on. I can hear him about the land, stupid nigga. So we can hear him for 15 potato chips. Dip your big ass lips. Your big nigga lips. This is what I'm saying. Dip your big nigga lips. You know what I'm saying? This is how our conversations always fell to a level of dog shit. Right, because you get independence. Because you're the only one on the camera who turned their mic on so we can hear you crush 15 fucking potato chips. You idiot. Not crushing. You idiot. Nigga here, bro. About the land in Georgia. They can't get permits. Man, fuck you, nigga. Get rid of this house, nigga. We gotta get rid of you, dog. Oh, nigga. That's why I can't grow. China can't grow, bro. With niggas like you around. Man. The people that bought the land can't grow, but you own it, nigga. The people that bought the land in Atlanta can't get permits. Yeah. Right. You ain't no bullshit, bro. Chaz might got a point because I think that might have happened because they went super public. They went super power. The right power structure tried to kind of like make a point that don't come around here trying to build. So that's not the problem. See, this is what I mean. Like, the reason why they can't get permits is because they went and purchased on an unincorporated piece of land
They went and purchased an unincorporated piece of land where there is no tax governance. The government, the United States government, is not about to allow you to do that. In the state of Georgia, go purchase some land and live tax free.
Oh, is that
That's
what
the That's right. That's what they did. They went and purchased unincorporated land that doesn't have any tax governance. So this is why they can't get any permits until they change the law. These people will be paying taxes up the wazoo for water, because they're not going to be using well water.
So somebody sold their ass a drink. Don't say that.
They stole themselves one. Yeah, I was going to say they sold themselves a dream. I mean, because outside put trailers on that land or something, you're not building.
There's a pastor or some activist behind that shit. Dumb group of people was listening to somebody.
Yeah, I agree with you, Swan. And this is what I'm saying. And usually they be listening to people like Clay.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? We don't understand that the United States government is a mob. Yeah, they ain't got no jurisdiction over that shit now. They gangsters open up shop and they be there.
Man, KOT in the building. President Yahweh.
Shalom, fam.
Man, Shalom. That's good, bro.
Shalom. I talk about Texas and I just talk about
bro.
I thank you for giving me the credit for getting motivated people to buy land, but I don't think I motivated them people. No, you ain't motivating nobody. But these are Romans, the mafia. But you just gave me full credit for motivating them to buy land. Yeah, a double-minded nigga is unstable in all his ways. Motivated idiots. Because they're the due diligence. Ain't that a Bible thing? Ain't that a Bible joint right there? Yeah, when you contradict yourself, right? Oh, no, I know what it
means. Jewels, too, man. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, my mom used to drop them on me. That's good. So I know it.
What you drinking with your Pringles, man? Oh, okay, VA Splash. That's that shit. Family Dollar. Oh no, that ain't even VA. You filled it with some Tampico. You split a gallon of Tampico with somebody else and put it in your nigga. I'm a nigga too, fam. Don't play with me.
I ain't never seen you on the train swab drinking out no jugs of Tampico juice.
Nah, you won't.
Somebody thought you better than that.
Yeah, that's a good little one now. I would
see, that's how you roast somebody, old geezer fuck boy. You know what I'm saying? It's gotta be funny. It's supposed to be funny to the nigga that's roast. You know that show where they roast the niggas? No. Go take a bath, bro. When they roast the niggas on their show, they're roasting the star. Go take a bath. I see you treat me like a star right now.
In the classroom?
Go take a bath. No, I'm talking about on that show where they invite the star and then they roast them.
You talking about?
Many other stars roast the main star. No, it's a show where it's a roasting show.
You asking
me? What are you talking about? He said it's a 70s.
Oh,
yeah, that was kind of funny. That's kind of funny. But that's how you roast. You're supposed to make a person laugh, but you just a clown. No, I know that wasn't a roast. See, a roast is in honor of someone. Or if you were trying to be disrespectful, I felt extremely disrespectful. I wasn't honoring you, Clay. That was meant to be. If you were meaning purposely to be disrespectful, then yeah, exactly. That's not a roast. So then you should apologize. No, that's not a roast. That's not a roast. See, a roast said, since you were purposely trying to be disrespectful, then you should apologize. If you're purposely being disrespectful, I'm just saying that was to degrade you. That's disrespect. No. There's no respect to be taken from. So I can't disrespect you. That means there has to be some respect attached to you as a human being first. You try and do everything in your power to try to make me kill you, but I'm not going to do it. Well, you said this is how you roast someone. To roast someone is to honor them. That's the purpose of it. No, to roast someone is to make them laugh. And no, about it's an honor. It's an honor. It's an honor, bro, to roast someone. If I say I'm going to roast Suave, it's an honor of Suave.
When they got his ass here, okay, I'll get it now. They'll show you.
No.
But, no. Yeah, I was wondering about the people who
Let's continue the conversation.
I didn't want to be super critical of the people who bought the land down there. I just don't got no faith in. I didn't have faith in that because, like you said, it was like the way it was just introduced. To me, it kind of seemed like a setup. I don't know, but I'm kind of you got to be super critical and stuff like that because when you study the past and what certain agencies have been created to do, like the way my mind works, like hundreds of people are paid to act out scenarios, bro.
Yeah, cool.
You know what I'm saying? And if they deemed you that, they said we were the biggest domestic threat.
That's crazy.
How much funding are you willing to put into that? How much precaution? You see what I'm saying? You're like, oh, little on me, yes, little on you. That's why when you serious in this shit, you gotta vet your friends. You gotta vet the people that come into your life, cause they can be agents. So it's like I just needed more information on that shit, bro. Like, cause I feel for some reason they trying to make all black people move to Atlanta. For some reason, bro, trying to make us.
Hey, bro. I said that. I've been saying that for years. That it's a forced remigration. They want to get black folks back in the South.
Bringing some money down there, watching motherfuckers down there ball and shine on our ass. Everybody moving in.
That's where we are. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of if they wanted to move some more niggas down, and let's just say the scenario you playing with, you would start looking at it moving down to 8 cities. Right now, we concentrated in 10 cities. So let's say we move out and move into Atlanta from the north. That makes it Atlanta, Charlotte, Jackson. I don't know if we need all 10 of those cities in the South. I agree. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's like, see, for me, when you do that, it's easy for a tyrannical government or people to like, okay, we want to get all this one group of people in one spot. Mm-hmm. It's easy to pick you off that way. Yeah, like that's why for those that are down south, more power to you. God bless you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be with you, but I ain't going. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a better me than you thing. It's like if they get 60-80% of us down south again, back down in the states, because it's like have a difficult time. You're gonna have a difficult time coalescing if they decide to attack you from the north, the east, and the west. Where you gonna go? You have nowhere to go but Mexico and into the Gulf.
Oh, you going?
You see, those two in that scenario is bad for us. Is that we would change the entire we need to change the economy of the South before we start talking about migrating there. We have no business going to somewhere like Mississippi where they have the lowest everything. There's no money there. So you would have to change the economy before you even start telling people to come on down here, let's get it. Because, when I was in Natchez, I was talking to a dude at the casino. That nigga told me the best jobs around there pay $750 an hour. $750. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, damn, but like I don't even see how you stay here, my nigga. I was like,
niggas into not selling crack in an environment like that.
Yeah, that nigga said $750 an hour is what they make in Natchez, Mississippi, at the normal, regular, everyday job that most black people work there. And I'm like, bro, ain't no fucking way. Yeah.
Ain't no fucking way. And you know, so when I had I was hiking on the Atlantic Green at one point in my life where everybody was like, oh, what's Atlanta? Right? I had just finished a 6-year degree, and my starting salary at my job was
she will not. She don't have to repeat that.
Man's hacking that shit.
Hold on, we didn't hear you since you went out when you said how much you was making after your 6-year degree. We didn't hear you.
With a master's degree, they were paying me $33,000 or $31,000. I think it was 31, and probably within a year, I was probably making like 32 or so. But I had to.
You gotta go to sleep, man. You trying to be polite and shit.
I really want to hear what you got to say because I see you ready to make a good point. But duty calls.
Hey man, y'all gotta make sure, man. Y'all computer working, man, for them debates.
Look in here.
They said they gonna
You said what?
Hey,
you went out again, Stitch. We didn't hear you for about 2 minutes.
Yay! 2 whole minutes. I wasn't even talking for 2 whole minutes.
No, I'm about to say you got a good 27 seconds.
Yeah, you was out there.
So did you hear about the $31,000?
Yeah, that's the last thing you heard.
Okay. Yes, I just said I had to go. I don't know what's going on with my connection. Like, I need to like finish up with the But yeah, I had to go. I couldn't stay in it. Things have been better as me being further up north financially.
Yeah, I think the Midwest is the best place to be, man. Coastal Canada is better. I think being here, period, is fucked up. Being here, period, is fucked up. Yeah, closer to, you know what I'm saying? Like, and just hope they be like, all right, we not with them. You know, best case scenario, they say, we them too. You know, but other than that, man, you have to speak for that next trust that Canadian one, though. Gee, so Mexico, okay, yeah. Nah, you right. But Mexico is fried down, laid to the side, man. Niggas gonna be down there.
But y'all relocate to Canada? Relocate to Canada?
Conditionally.
I don't know Mexico, though.
Conditionally.
You know, nigga Mexico with $500 is rich, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just like on some real shit. Like once you cross back over into San Diego, you're not rich anymore. But nigga, you go across that border, you live in Mexico with like $300-$400, like you go across that motherfucker, do anything else you want to. You got to buy nice cars for a band in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? It's literally like half the price for everything. Yeah, I'm trying to find somewhere to be comfortable. Yeah, I'm trying to
Shit, we trying to find somewhere to talk. Shit, I just need a board or a meeting room. You know what I'm saying? And we can talk about kids.
I'm just trying to see, like, in Canada, they got the whole universal healthcare system.
They're gonna change that shit as soon as we start moving over there. They're like, Canada don't got healthcare no more.
It costs $25 to get a tour. And then what they gonna do? Yeah, I've been in Canada. It's nice. The thing about Canada, though, there's still this weirdness, and I don't know if it's I don't know if that's just being Americanized or racist. No, I wouldn't say ultra racist. I just would say that the mindset of the black community there is just like they ignore like issues up front. The issues, right? They like ignore this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they try to talk about racism and white supremacy as if you should only be talking about it in the sense of how you're gonna get along with your fellow man, your white brother. You see what I'm saying? It's a weird ass way they look at racism.
Don't fuck it up.
But I think that's not different. I don't look at Canada and how they view racial relations is different to other countries. I think that I do feel like blacks in America are very, to some degree, are very similar to blacks globally. I think that the Black American experience, especially pertaining to racial relations, is different than the relations that they have in other countries. For example, the Black Americans here are very aware that they have been robbed of their language, robbed of their religion, robbed of their norms, and so forth, of their culture. Whereas in other countries, the blacks that have come there, they could have been there for birth, speaking, so they were able to come and bring those things with them, right? When I went to the Bahamas, there's a whole community of Jamaicans in the Bahamas, right? Celebrating Jamaican independence in the Bahamas, right? So they maintain their Jamaicanness while being in the Bahamas. That's very different than, nobody is like, oh, I'm Yoruba, I'm Fulani. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't got all that kind of stuff over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's law, right? Yeah. So I feel like when you have blacks in Canada or blacks in the UK, their experience of racial relations are different because of the way the white people treat them is a little bit different than how the whites over here in America and the experience of the black here in America. So you have the experience.
I agree with that. I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you because a lot of those French Canadians that are up there, they from early on in history, they did have a different a different take on slavery, right? And so it was, slavery in French Canadian. They didn't deal with so much as shadow slavery as much as they dealt with indentured servitude, which is a whole different aspect when you talk about the mental, the mentality of how in race relations in coming from that area. So I can agree with you on that that is why they have a different take on race relations than we do here in America, or versus the narrative that we receive in America versus the narrative that's spoken about in Canada. They actually have more. I think that the Native American Indian or the Native Canadian Indian has a much more difficult issues with race relations at one point in Canada than black folks up there did at one point. Do you think that puts them at a disadvantage? Because I think what that does is makes them overlook the global threat of white supremacy because they've never had to actually confront it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of Canadians when they come here is their real first introduction to it. You know what I'm saying? So consider that we talk about a global threat, you're already behind the eight ball, but you don't even understand it. You know what I'm saying? That's lesbian, like Canadian blacks, they don't have any interest of it. Yeah, even in England, in the UK.
Either Haitian Americans or Haitians, period. Like whether they're first generation or they were born in Haiti or if they're first generation Americans. What is your experience with how they pursue race relations, being that, most people or everyone, I would say, are familiar with the fact that there was actual slavery in Haiti and if they had a Haitian revolution. What is your experience with how those people experience race relations here in America? You feel like they're aware of it? Like they're
definitely, yeah, Haitians are definitely aware of racism and white supremacy because they experienced it in their own land even before and after the Haitian Revolution. And one thing about Haiti is I've been to the commercial side of Haiti. I've been to Labadie, Haiti, and what most people don't understand about it is that Haiti and what we refer to as the Dominican Republic, it's all one island. All one island. And, right, and you have two different cultures, but they're African people. But on the Dominican Republic side is where we have the Spanish conquistadors came and conquered that side of the island, mixed with those Africans and those slaves and made slaves of those Africans, but their children, those mulattoes who are Dominican over there, they have a caste system set up that makes them more prejudiced based on skin color than the other side of those in Haiti who are darker complexion. I don't know if they're finished building the wall. They're building a wall, but yeah. I don't know if the wall is completed, but recently I have a family member that asked me to go with them to visit VR, and VR was completely off my list to visit, but because my family member was like, please, I want you to come with me, I was like, okay, fine. Just because I was adamant that VR is not going to get any source money from me, right? Because I was like, they're building a wall to keep out basically anyone of African ancestry. Like they were, I didn't even doing that. I heard about that. They were actually doing it. So anyone who has two generations, so like if you're Dominican, but your grandparents is of African ancestry or Haitian, right? If you can prove that you're then they remove the Dominican citizenship. Wow. If you move you don't have what's the right to a Dominican lineage, basically what they're doing. I'm like, they're going back 2 generations and just taking it away from me. And so like there's a poster of like all of these, you could call them Afro-Latinos, basically they're black people who are of Latin or Spanish ancestry, they speak Spanish, but they're black. And for me personally, I don't hide this, that's basically what my means, right? Okay. My parents are of African ancestry, but both of my parents, my mother and father, are Spanish speaking. From the Spanish speaking, my parents from the Spanish speaking country, right? And so the transatlantic slave trade wasn't only in the Caribbean. People act as if they didn't stop in Central and South America. Absolutely, so they stopped there more. They speak Portuguese and Spanish in those countries, right? So, like my ancestry, my parents spoke Spanish. And so me hearing this about the DR was really, it just hit home because these people look like my cousins. They look like my aunt and uncle. And they're saying that you're just
that because you're apathy. You basically do, you have apathy ancestry, so you're not, they're building a wall to keep all those people out. And I don't know, this is like, I think it started in 2015, so it's possible the wall is finished now, I don't know. But anybody who wants to like Google it and look it up, you can kind of post in the chat if the wall is finished. But yeah,
I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know that. Because I know, what was it, 2010, the second time I went to Haiti, was it 2010? It was when the earthquake happened, the last major earthquake happened. I went there with with a church affiliate, you know, to help clean up, you know, pass out food and medicine and stuff like that for like 2 weeks. And one of the issues then was they were trying to, the military that we thought that was supposed to be in place to help facilitate the path, getting food and medicine to the citizens in those areas in Haiti during the earthquake. They were actually protecting the border regions, keeping Haitian people from going over into the Dominican Republic, seeking jobs and, food and trying to start new life and trying to find, just to make a better life, because that part of the island was devastated by the earthquake as much. And so that's when I really came to the understanding of what that racial, like, caste system really was over there. So
my homegirl, she was telling me about, so she is, I would say, you could say, I would say brown skin. She wasn't necessarily dark skin, but she definitely wasn't a light-skinned, complected black woman. But her father was dark skinned, and her mother was a very fair-skinned Haitian woman. Both of her parents were Haitian, and her mother was an attorney in Haiti. When they were in Haiti, they had maids, they had a butler, they had maids, they were affluent in Haiti. And she told me that a lot of that had to do with being either mixed race or that fair complexion people in Haiti were automatically well-to-do. That was like, and I was like completely confused because now she's in the United States and she's like here having his family, having her. And she was like, oh, my mom wanted to go back to Haiti to automatically be in the upper class. Like, what? That doesn't make sense to her complexion? That's crazy. And she was like, yeah, that's kind of how it is there. So,
That's right. Because they almost consider themselves on the Dominican, those who are Dominican, they're almost they view themselves as we would see racist. I wouldn't say racist, but racism and rights. I would say white privilege or privilege. How we would talk about white privilege among whites in this country. We see the same thing with the Dominicans over there. It's one of those things. Okay, it's one of those things that when we talk about moving to certain places, going back to Taz's original statement, like being sovereign in our land, like I think these are some of the same issues we still have to work out amongst ourselves. Because even in America, we still have among blacks, we still have those, brown paper bag tests and light skin versus dark skin and different things like that. And, dark skin is in this year and light skin is out, and light skin is in this year and dark skin is out. we still fall into that same type of mentality, you know, as a people, you know, and you know, I don't, you know, so I don't know. I think it's an interesting conversation.
But do you think white supremacy made that, or
I do?
Or
I do. I think that's the result.
Well, because I see a lot of the stuff that is in these systems, they didn't make it. They just figured out a way to control it. So it's like, I can see people are different shades of colors.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that exists in white supremacy, where people say, dang, you know, light-skinned girls are the shit. And then after 20 years of being fucked over by light-skinned girls, he said, man, dark-skinned girls are the shit. So in micro, macro, I can see the people doing that. Hey, it's cool living by the coast. Then after the storms, it's better to live inland. Then the next generation will be tired of being inland and say, it's cool to live by the coast. So I can see that, but to set the inferiority or who's more privileged to have more by that color, I think that's what it played on.
Yeah, see, like my grandmother was born in Mobile, Alabama, and but she was raised in New Orleans, and so she was. They used to call her Red, because her mom, my grandmother's mother, is full-blooded Chippewa, and but her, you know, but she married a black man, an African American man. But my grandmother was very fair complected, and so in the South she was so fair, she would, what they say, she would be able to pass, basically pass as a white person. And so if she didn't tell them she was black, they wouldn't know she was black. So my grandmother. And so she would get the best jobs. She didn't have to sit in the back of the bus, although she would choose to sit in the back of the bus because she always wanted to identify as black. So she would sit in the back of the bus, and then they would always tell her, they would have to tell her, ma'am, why are you sitting back there? That's where the niggas sit, right? Why are you sitting back there? And she would have to tell them, well, sir, ma'am, I am black, right? And so, but my grandmother never went through a lot of the things that the people in the South would do because she could pass. She didn't have problems getting jobs.
One of the biggest target in the room. Let all the dark-skinned people live.
Exactly. Exactly. And so, like I said, and they wouldn't know if she didn't tell them, right? And so, you know, that happened quite a bit. You know, they happened quite a bit.
Yeah, they had job applications back then.
You know.
Yeah, that's what I think. When we look at our grandparents, for those of us who had a light-skinned grandparent, like my grandparent on my father's side was light. My grandmother on my mother's side was dark. I would like to see how many of us are in that condition. And we got to be that. But how many light-skinned grandmothers compared to dark-skinned grandmothers were married and taken care of? Because the culture that I see was that you was upgraded if you got your light skin. The dark-skinned woman was trying to get a lighter man. The dark-skinned man was trying to get a lighter woman.
And like my grandmother, like when she married my grandfather, in the 50s, they moved into in Chicago. They moved in the area called Cicero, and if anybody knows Cicero, that was like one of the most like racist, segregated states in America, right? And it has been recent. I say within the last 20 years, last 15, 20 years, it's been like that. But now it's mostly Hispanic now. But in Cicero, you know, they had like 15,000 African Americans work in the city, but 0% of the residents of Cicero were black. Like there were virtually no black folks in Cicero that could live or buy a house. So, but because my grandmother could pass or she was white or they thought she was white, my grandfather worked at the post office, right? He was a very dark-skinned black man. He worked at the post office, so he had a very good job because he was an army vet. So he got a good job at the post office. But he couldn't buy a home in the area because he was black. They wouldn't sell him a house. So he sent my grandmother to buy a house. And she went and they sold her the house that they wanted in Cicero in an all-white neighborhood. They sold her a house, the house she wanted, because they thought she was a white woman. And when my grandfather came to move in, they called the police on him that he was breaking into the house. Right? And when he showed that he was part of the house, they literally tried to, get him to get moved out of that area. And that's the house I grew up in for a while as a child.
Y'all stole that house.
Yeah, that people in Chicago, like I lived down the street from Leclerc Courts. Leclerc Courts was right across the street. Like a project. It was right across the street. Down the block from where I lived. But that's how it went down. And the house today, it's 80% Hispanic over there. That's what I was just gonna say. The age when your grandparents would have been there, that was when the black community was still there, coming in, and that's when that race riot shit started. That was back. What was it? The 50s, I think. It's 20s, 50s, and then 70s. And the same thing that happened in the 20s when they came and destroyed the black community after what was that? What we call Red Summer. After Red Summer, and they did it all across the country. In Chicago, but in the 50s, it happened in the main place that happened in Chicago. 50s. I did a documentary on this shit. That's why I know it so well. That Cicero, where he's talking about, his grandparents probably would have been there in the 1940s, 50s. Yep. And that would have been the time when they were rioting, fighting to get that area where black people could live at. But then 20 years later, black people being moved out and now Hispanics being moved in. Chicago is a crazy place, bro, when it comes to how they, over the years, they racially discriminated these neighborhoods and sectioned everybody off and kept it segregated. Chicago attributes that shit. Yeah, and Chicago is still like that. I tell people Chicago is one of the most segregated cities in the world. It is. I ain't never seen no shit like it, bro. I done been around the country. I never seen no shit like it. No signs of changing. You see what I'm saying? When you go to Chicago and you see Chinatown, yeah, nigga, that's Chinatown. You ain't moving over there if you ain't Chinese. So you know what I'm saying? We got little Poland. You ain't moving over there if you ain't Polish. Jewtown. I want to point out that claims spell like old baloney right now. Peace to the chat. You know what I'm saying? Peace to the panel. I'm gonna get right. I'm from Lima, Ohio. I remember the first time I was up there. Jewtown. I said Jewtown. The name of it. Yes, sir. See, growing up as a kid, bro, Jewtown, and I'm gonna tell you, bro, Jewtown literally is what it was. It was all Jewish stores, blocks and blocks and blocks, Jewish stores. You can go get a suit, tailor-made suit. You can go get a tailor-made hat, shoes. They had banks. You can go get loans, but they were all owned by Jews.
and you can go get a Jewtown Polish. They would make the meat right there. You see what I'm saying?
They still do that. They still do that.
Yeah, they still do. And like, but you couldn't move in that neighborhood if you wasn't Jewish.
Hurry up and
You see what I'm saying? and it wasn't until recently where like Jewtown now is gone because the universities came in and moved over and purchased that land, bought them out.
I was just about to ask you, that was housing over there at one point. Then it wasn't because now it's UIC. Right. There, but right. So that was all housing over there, like we see Maxwell Street and all of that shit.
Maxwell Street, that was housing. Maxwell Street, Hall Street, yeah, all that was housing. Damn. All that was housing, but it was only you couldn't walk in that neighborhood. They would only let black folks come over there that worked over there, and you had to be out before the sun went down. And you can come Sunday morning. Black folks can come down there Sunday morning and shop. But you had to be gone by 3 in the afternoon. You had to be gone. By the time they start getting drunk. And that's because on Saturdays, the Jews, the shops was closed because of the Shabbat, because of Sabbath. The stores would be closed. A majority of them. You couldn't do like no banking and no buying of food and stuff like that. But you could. Certain things you couldn't do. You couldn't buy alcohol and stuff like that. But it's literally, it's saving. Like, there's like south in Chicago, there's a whole stretch where they call Little Ireland. And only the Irish live over there. And if you weren't Irish, you couldn't move over there, bro.
We just put out that claim with real clear and honest, man.
Appreciate the Chicago history, man. Yeah. Well, what else we talked about too, though, with that, just going back to Red Summer, a lot of the communities came together and fucked ours. Yes, they did. And people don't talk about that shit. A lot of them surrounding the white community came together and fucked up the black community. It wasn't just random people or random white people that came from nowhere. Those were the surrounding communities that surrounded the black community, destroyed the black community in 1919.
Yep, I agree with you. And we know that's a fact, whether I agree or not. That's a fact. That's a fact of history. And even going into the 50s, in the 60s, and in the 70s, and even in the 70s still, like you can really see that. You can really see it in Chicago. See, people don't really realize, like, in Chicago, when you talk about Fred Hampton getting shot and killed and different things like that, Chicago was still a very segregated city. It was still a very segregated city. And so, like, when you had the Democratic Convention in Chicago during that time, and you had the riots going on there, like, those people, this is why, I'm going to say this. This is why when you watch the movie Judas Messiah, there's a lot of things I thought that was wrong with it. But some of the things they got right is when Hampton was going around getting all of those different gangs together from the different communities, and he started incorporating the lower, the white folks that wasn't in the upper echelon, those white gangs and some of those Hispanic gangs. That's what they became afraid of. See, we know that here. That's what put him on their radar. When he started pulling all those different ethnic groups together. Because
we respect that nowadays, though. We respect it nowadays.
No, we don't.
The fallout, but man, what that meant in that time, bro,
yeah. Because he was like, hey, look, we all poor and we all getting our ass kicked up in here.
Ooh, let me tell you what that just gave me. That would make him the next king, then, right?
That's what they were afraid of.
He was coming off the Poor People's March. He had just got assassinated. The next year, you got this young man on his shit.
Yep. And see, he was doing what Martin couldn't do. And that was galvanized people from the grassroots. See, Fred Hampton wasn't a politician. He was he couldn't be bought. And that was the problem with this guy. He couldn't be bought because, trust me, they tried to pay him off. They tried to pay him off. They tried to get him to go to where we know there was some of these Black Panthers that actually took the money. Right? And so, but they couldn't pay this guy off because he literally was saying, I'm not satisfied. I don't want your money. I want to see my people elevated. And when he was saying his people, he was talking about in the aspect of not just Black, but poor people and disadvantaged people. That's what scared the hell out of them.
People who were supposed to be protected by laws and who weren't working. People were supposed to have certain rights and weren't receiving them. He was setting up for the Americans in the whole. Yeah.
Yeah, he was and you know, and that's what made him a threat. You know, that's what made him a threat. Because when you think about what he was doing, he wasn't going around saying, "Hey, we gonna buy 50 bombs.
Kill Whitey.
And we gonna blow up this monument, and we gonna blow up that monument, and we gonna do this, and we gonna." He wasn't doing that. He was galvanizing people from all levels of the grassroots movement, and they couldn't stop this guy. They couldn't stop this guy, and the only way to stop it was to kill him.
Yeah, that's a trip, man. That Fred Hampton story is definitely one that's kind of just glossed over in that regard because had what year was that they do the 63rd Street March? I think that was in the late 60s too. But the way he was able to bring the Black little gangs together, just the Black ones, that was a threat in itself. But be able to go get the Puerto Ricans, the white boys out there beating up kids, all that shit, other people's kids, they was terrified of that nigga.
They were terrified of that dude, man. They was terrified of that. Terrified of that.
To the white, yellow power to the yellow, brown power to the brown. That nigga was like, what you mean?
Yeah, even on that,
to the white.
Like that's, I think that even today, sometimes like what we was talking about the other night, sometimes like we probably do get a little too pissed off because like to make some shit happen, you do need some support of this dominant society. You're not just gonna make shit happen on your own. You just be sitting around mad forever. And so I think they had a better understanding of how to get that done as a community back then than we have now. Because right now, it's a lot of people that's just moving on anger. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that. But see, I ain't the one with the credentials to go in there and get shit changed either. So I just be as bad as I want to. There's the motherfuckers who got the credentials, the ability to change shit. They're the ones that's too quiet. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones that ain't operating the way they're supposed to right now.
Yeah. And see, and even during the 60s, that was kind of a thing that was always understood. I was watching something not too long ago. They were talking about Malcolm X. And there were a lot of people, even high officials, Black officials during that time, when King was talking about let's keep the peace. And I'm not just talking about the Panthers. There was a lot of Black officials was like upper echelon Black folks that, hey, look, we gotta consider violence. You see what I'm saying? We gotta consider going to war. I believe the guy's name was, is it David Watts or Dan Watts? I think he was operating a newspaper called The Liberator or Liberation or something like that. The Liberator? Yes, The Liberator. Yeah, The Liberator. And he was saying, hey, look, he was like, look, a lot of us, we're not rocking with what King is saying. We tired of this, Gandhi, nonviolent movement. You know what I'm saying?
there was a lot of them ready to take it. A lot of them was ready to take it, like literally take it to the street. So the whole movement itself was a fragmented movement. And that's why I think Fred Hampton had a better and a clear understanding on how really to make this thing move. Because he wasn't isolating people based on skin color. He was isolating people based on government and how government was treating and destroying communities. You see what I'm saying?
People not being honest about the discrimination.
Yeah. And so I think that we as a people, and this going back to your question you brought up a while ago, Taz, when you were talking about what does a sovereign nation for us really look like? You know what I'm saying? Are we really ready to give up these little perks and, you know, shit? Are you really ready to give up toilet paper?
Shit, nah, niggas I don't think we gotta go back to the woods and shit, man. Niggas got to.
Hey, bro, listen. but I agree, Swell, but this the thing, though. If you try to clown niggas for when a white man made the shoes you wear, okay, well, don't that mean the white man made that toilet paper too?
Yeah, I don't care about that. I'm not one of them extreme niggas. White man made this. People make shit. It's the white man rules us, governs our laws. Right? I don't care who makes the toilet tissue. I care about who addresses the issues in my community. Because when they look at their own children,
but you know, found a lot of these arguments, though, man. It's just a lot of it just being
outdated. It's outdated. It's outdated. A lot of niggas saying the same shit we were saying in the 60s. You know what I'm saying? No, we need to utilize the system we got, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, work to be independent and all that you can, but the things you can't, don't be stupid. Don't because you gotta be psychologically intact, man. Some people lose their goddamn bearings, they ain't got toilet tissue. You know what I'm saying? I know, first of all, I ain't going nowhere, ain't no women. And women ain't going nowhere with this trend. Hey, fuck that. Revolution can't afford a goddamn RV.
Yeah, they ain't going, bro. They not going. And that's why I say that's why I say, bro, that's one of the biggest conversations. It's like we really need that, and not just guns, bro. Some of us ain't going nowhere, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't click on the air conditioner, you can't turn on the fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you gotta get up there and you know, you gotta build this house. You gotta patch. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make a roof out of sticks and mud bricks, man. They ain't trying to do that, bro.
I don't think we there though, bro. We got enough money to buy some land and build. You know what I'm saying? And these are projects. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas are living in projects.
Yeah, you got to be do that.
Yeah. I mean,
you gotta be
it's not. I would say the people with money pay for the people with nothing to be the first people to go there. We'll live in the mud huts and all of that shit, and then we'll build the community. You bring your rich, privileged black ass in there. But I mean, it's like shit. Sure, you don't want to do it, but if you want to see it done, like who would you pay to do it? Who would you pay to go construct the civilization and go through all of the bullshit and then just coming out when it's finalized and everything is pretty, you know what I'm saying? And the schools are built and the roads are paved.
Shit, that's when it's gonna be trying to get ready to kill some motherfuckers though, bro. That's when it's gonna be trying to get ready to protect your shit. As soon as your shit up and running, nigga, they coming, nigga.
Yeah, I say we need to make them do that again, bro. They too comfortable. We ain't made them bring out the dogs in a while. You know what I'm saying? A lot of hoes. I want to see if they'll do it in 2021. I want to see if you'll do me like you did the movement on YouTube, Instagram in 2021.
That again, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, I think it's far beyond they reach. The reason why I think you won't see it again is because too many of them are involved now. You know what I'm saying? You drop a bomb on a motherfucking protest or some shit. You spray up a crowd now, where you spraying up white people too. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just. You know what I'm saying? They don't tell who you spraying up now, dog. They ain't just niggas out there now. So that shit might be 65% white out there, bro.
Instead of trying to get in touch with the politicians, get in touch with their children. Invite them to the movie. Get in touch with their children. Invite their children.
You know what's crazy? We ain't gotta do it these days. You know what happened to the campaign? Y'all was trying to get all the white people off the field.
So who?
What did that campaign?
Which one?
You know, Chen, Snoop, Junior, and all y'all was trying to kick the white people off the field, saying they shouldn't be out there. What's that boy name? Solar Homeboy. They do the show. It was over there by that boat that time in Philly. He was saying the same thing. White people don't need to be out here. This is our movement. Get crazy.
Yeah.
That rhetoric.
No, white people always. White people have always been standing next to black people in these. But you can always find a crack in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Screaming to the top of their lungs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they was there. They just wasn't as many.
Yeah. They wasn't in a lot of.
Yeah, but I've never trusted their reason for being there, though. A lot of them are rebellious when they get to a certain age. They just do shit to spite their parents. It's not doing it from the heart of loving or wanting to grow black people. It's doing it to go against their parents and, you know what I'm saying, against society. You know what I'm saying? It ain't a fight for us. Look at Bernie Sanders. You know what I'm saying? You would be silly to think that Bernie Sanders spent his life fighting for black people. But when you see him back there in the 60s with the Willis wagons and Martin Luther King and shit, that was to his personal benefit. That helped him on his personal quest. So, you know what I'm saying? But you look at his life, you know what I'm saying? You don't see public service dedicated to black people. You know what I mean? So I don't trust them being involved in our movement, but they've always been there. Yeah, he one of the motherfuckers that got laid down back in the day. But see, now it's so many of them out there, it's almost like you're going against the white movement. Because, you know, I mean, most of these cities are majority white. So if the city coming out to protest, who's out there protesting? A bunch of white people when it look like black people are just mixed in. But, you know, it's we out there. But if you got the whole damn city out there in the city white, the protest is white. You know what I'm saying?
We can't even make black. We trying to get a bunch of niggas together. They flooding our ass.
That's what y'all doing. But people was mad as hell. But like, I didn't get, because they was undermining the protest because white people was out there. And I'm like, I get what y'all saying, fam, but you ain't gonna be able to stop white people from coming out protesting. You use that energy of them being there. Why you upset that they out there?
You want to get them from out there, get their name and their number and ask them for donations. They'll stop coming. Let me get your, we trying to bring $200,000 for the motherfuckers to stay in the house.
Yeah, I ain't trying to talk to no white folks. To me, they're trying to get something done on paper. But if we're just talking about having a united front, well, let them motherfuckers march in front. And you know what I'm saying? We'll bring up the rear. You know what I'm saying? Let all the white people go out on Front Street. And they can be the front, and you know whatever happens, we'll let it happen to them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how niggas got to be thinking about this shit, bro. Go out that motherfucker, start the riot, and then leave. They can let them fight them off.
I say, sit, let them march on their own. Or you can tweet from the comfort of their home.
Started and then
when do we want rights for blacks? When do we want it? Now, all white people like, damn, bro, hold on. This shit, something's wrong with this picture. Something's wrong with this motherfucking picture. But yeah, you definitely need the partnership with the dominant society, bro. So that's why I'm saying, even if we separate ourselves, do we still have relationships with white people? You know what I'm saying? Like, whether it's the healthiest relationship in the world, but we still got a relationship with white people. Enough black people have integrated into the political system. They can't be ignored. They might be undermined, but they can't be ignored. And if black people do something, those people that invested in this political realm, if they start speaking on it like men and women should, then that has to bring some type of attention. That has to bring some type of progress, bro. You just can't ignore a group of people getting together saying, you know, we're not agreeing with the way that we're being identified in this goddamn society. You know, and we tired of being blamed on police training, school, curriculum, you know, medical. I'm cool on all that shit, bro. For real. But
where am I at, man?
conditions for blacks are getting more and more comfortable. I'll put it to you like that. They're getting more and more comfortable. Damn, I really put Black Lives Matter in the title, and it's been like 3 crackers or 3 haters. Like 3, 4. You found out that's a flat earth movie. But I was actually doing a review on this article that was talking about that. Do black people not get involved with Black Lives Matter because the subgroups is in it are feminist movement and LGBTQ movements? So the Black National, the Black Identity sector don't get the support from the Black community. It should, because they got LGBT. That's the leadership. The leadership is LGBT. That's our problem. But yeah, but that's what I thought too. And it's not that you're wrong. That's not the only leadership. It's 3 lesbians who started the hashtag and who are known as the leaders of the corporation, whatever it is. It was a dude. Lives Matter. Hashtag in 2000. No, it wasn't. And then for 2, they took them millions of bucks, but she flexing a $1 million house now. As she should. That's a number of problems. As she should. I mean, what would she be able to buy a house after all them goddamn donations? Because she don't deserve the donations if she's gonna spend it on her house. But I'm saying that she don't deserve the donations. What do you mean they would do? In August 2012, Marcus Anthony Hunter, an urban studies scholar at the University of California, Los Angeles, was the first person to post the hashtag Black Lives Matter on Twitter. In July 13, 2013, what makes you think that's correct? Because I'm reading it from a reputable source. On July 13, 2013, Alicia Garza, Patrice Coolers, and Opal Tomati, probably the people you're talking about, posted it in a protest to the George Zimmerman what's name. But the first person that posted it was a dude named Marcus Hunter. Those 3 women you talking about, let me Google these names just to make sure they give credit for something. Alicia Garza is the American civil rights activist and running on for a co-founder International Black Lives Matter movement. She has, he made the hashtag. They started the movement, I'm guessing, or some shit. But he started the hashtag and they retweeted it years later after the Zimmerman what's the name. And I could get rid of it viral. So instead of them living it with him, they hijacked his little hashtag thing. But that's crazy. Yeah, because I think it's possible that he hashtagged it, but they actually made a entity out of it. Black Lives Matter. They started the movement. They started the hashtag. They started the business. Yeah. And but the movement is with people who actually care
about Black Lives Matter. You see?
Yeah. And that's what it was. So the people that's with it that have a black nationality authority, they're not getting represented. You know what I'm saying? But the way the movement is they're trying to not give any one group within the group like the dominant push, because that's what happens. Protests happen and it'll be, you know, black man, white man, Chinese man, you know, and they have a movement, but the white man will get all the coverage and this, that, and the other. So in this, what's the name, they trying to not let just the black people who rock a certain nationality get all the coverage, and the gays and the lesbians and feminists that support them get no coverage. So in that aspect, the gays got the coverage because they're more excited to talk about than black people. Yeah, that's crazy, but that's what they were saying. That's actually what this what's that is called.
Let's start a little bit.
Yeah, let me share it. I can share it right quick. It's a 16-page, whatever the fuck, American Political Science Review, published by Cambridge University in 2020. Which identity frames boost support for and mobilization in the Black Lives Matter movement? You know what I'm saying? And oh, I'm good to see some charts on this motherfucker. Yeah, that's just so happened what I've been doing my homework. That's why I titled to stream that, because it was just sitting on my desk. So I'm gonna title the stream. Fuck it, Black Lives Matter might go viral today. Fuck it, might get some racists to come to it. Astro said I don't fuck with it because from what I know now, this is just a minute from what he knows. It's really an LGBT group with alternative gender. All of these movements are found by black lives. Then the rights are given to everyone but the blacks. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. This because every movement has a subset. Like it's like the Crips, the Blood, the Folks, the Vice Lords came together for the Purple Gang. You know what I'm saying? But they're subset organizations, and so somebody will come in and say, "Well, which one is the face of the Purple Gang movement?" Because all four of you can't be put in different directions, even though you coalesce into a greater entity. Which one of you and Black Lives Matter students say neither one of us? They're just naturally in today's condition, today's societal condition, the gays are getting the attention. But there are straight people that are in authority over Black Lives Matter. There's feminists, but at the end of the day, we don't fuck with two of the three. So Black Lives Matter is the weakest link. Goodbye. You know what I'm saying? We don't fuck with it. Even though getting progress to Black Lives Matter would help black people who are concerned about black identity and black nationalism. But we'll give up on that because they paperclip the LGBTQ community to it. So progression for us means progression for them. So if we want progression, we got to accept progression in LGBTQ too. So once again, they bringing the gay agenda in on the brown skin. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it ain't like plenty of white people wait for.
So what do you say? Not making them is hindering something.
Because they still do have a black nationalism agenda and a black identity agenda. You know what I'm saying? They still say stop shooting black men in the street. And because they also say, you know, gay lives matter, we say, man, fuck their message about shooting us in the street. I ain't fucking with that gay shit. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, yeah, stop shooting us in the street. Because eventually they're going to say, well, we've been yelling stop shooting you in the street for a long time.
I mean, we do say that, you know what I'm saying, without them. So,
yeah, but we're not getting no recognition. Like Black Lives Matter, that's the thing about them. They blew up, they went viral, they trended. It's like the third most used hashtag already, Black Lives Matter. So they actually getting recognition. That's different than just existing and being an entity. they actually getting conversations brought up and they getting talked about on the floor. They can't be denied. They're nationwide. They're international. They're international.
Yeah, that's how politics work too. It's generally as the conversation gets started and then you hash out the information and then laws policy gets passed.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying that anybody who is denying them is hurting their own people or movement?
Yeah, they're hurting their own progression that is coming from where that movement. Any progression that Black Lives Matter could bring for Black people to not be shot by police, to identify as Israelite and not be, identified as a terrorist, to say, hey, I want to separate and have my own nation. Any progress that Black Lives Matter is bringing to that conversation is being disposed of because of the gay representation. So it's just like we been saying, man, I'm not finna get liberated under no gay man. You know what I'm saying? Like, really? You don't want liberation? No, I want liberation. I just don't want it to come from up under no gay man. And they say, well, they ain't listening to your train.
Yeah, what if we argue that it's impossible? That's impossible to be liberated at the whole
thing. Then now you have warranted conversation between you and your gay brothers and sisters, because they're not gonna be able to see. Of course, I'm generalizing. Some of them probably do, but they're not gonna be able to see what they want to admit to seeing, and they want to understand why they couldn't. Why I couldn't. If Fred Hampton was a homosexual, what would have stopped? If Martin Luther King was a homosexual, what effect did that have on his move?
Well, from the women there, MLK was a pedo, right? Hey.
No, I never
heard. And also an adulterer.
I heard of him being an adulterer. He had orgies and shit, but I never heard about him fucking with no minor.
Oh, okay. I might have got him mixed up with another.
Yeah, you know
So, adultery is punishable by death according to how we feel about it, right? So, we think that God caused him to die that because of that. So the same thing about with homosexuality and other things is punishable by death. So from our perspective, it's impossible for them to cause extreme life. All they're doing right now is causing extreme death. If they got a stupid ass death, chauvinism would have got exonerated, that would have been a civil war, second civil war. I'm expecting what they're doing is, what I'm seeing and noticing is that they're already preparing our brains to do that. That's why they ramping up the murders and specifically doing it with white cops and black people.
You think more or less black men is being killed now than in the 60s?
Less. Well, you talking about in general, or you talking about
by the police?
Way less. Super less. I love the cameras back then, and then you said
they still had newspapers, and they did have cameras in the 60s.
Brother, you got them getting away. I'm talking about everybody's hands.
Yeah,
you got them getting away. Yeah, you got them getting away with Indian people today. You know what I'm saying? Big cameras in everybody's head.
Cause I saw this one
So
video,
now what is what we
and it's been on my mind, bro, and I ain't been able to find it. But it was on World Star for a day. But it was this couple that was driving in the South, and they showed
they saw a whole crew of white cops hanging somebody.
Yeah, not a whole cool white cop, but yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That right there, because it was it was a sheriff truck and a sheriff car out there. You know what I'm saying? And the motherfucker was like, man, what the fuck are they doing? Lynching the motherfucker, yeah.
That's what they were doing. They almost happened to me when I was super young. Like I was like maybe about 20. But the was probably about 18, 19. We go out of town to the club because there wasn't no club in my city. So we driving to the next town. We had to ride from Reese's town, which I didn't know was Reese's. We broke down in the Reese's town, and the sheriff pulled up on us. It was a black sheriff, a white sheriff. And I was like, you need some help? Like, yeah, big block. We should appreciate it. You know, and so, 13 sheriffs later, me and my homeboy walked up to them and thanked them for, because we seen a tow truck now. We thought they was going, but it wasn't a tow truck. Matter of fact, now I think about it, it was a pickup truck. So we walked up to them, and we were like, this sure no taking a long time to figure out how to tow this car. It don't take that long to figure out how to tow a car. There were 13 sheriff cars out there. So we walked up to them and was like, yeah, we sure thank you for helping us out. The man looked at his son, damn near broke his son's hand, hit his son's hand so hard, and said, my son don't shake nobody's hand. Thank you anyway, brother. I went to the car, got what I could carry, and got the walk. So, you know, we're 50 miles away from the house. 50 miles away. Yeah, so I think there was art and it come to a consensus on hanging us because there was sheriff cars there, and then there was also city police there. I think the city police showed up trying to stop the sheriff from hanging us. You know what I'm saying? So because they had to be arguing because it took them a long time to figure out how to tow the car. So when we started walking back, the city police, first of all, they told us to stay out the road, so they got big shotgun. They get the fuck out the road. It was blaring lights at us with going heavy. So then they caused a roadblock so that we could throw them ride back. They seen me throw them ride, and then they did a roadblock for me. The city cop said he would save a nigga. I'm the sheriffs. The sheriffs be those sickness. It be mostly sickness. Like literally worshiping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw it too. They like, all hell through Satan. I said, damn. All the people got up and walked out. They was like, okay.
They're not just regular people. God, and be worshiping.
Right. Okay, sit down.
That's why we all do angels and stuff for sure. It's probably the sacrifices to say.
No, probably not. Probably just using that as a front. Hanging is because they scared with outpopulate them.
That's a good idea.
They just use a little simple shit like that because we believe in it. We believe in God and the devil, so they say, yeah, we do it with the God and the devil. It ain't got nothing to do.
Okay, so alright, so who just believe it little and dead fell?
I have no idea. I have no
Okay
idea.
then, brother. So you keep forgetting that that's real.
I didn't say that. I said that they don't believe.
It wasn't God. It wasn't the devil.
No, I couldn't.
You don't know who it is.
I'm telling you that the God of the Bible, the devil of the Bible, and the other, whatever my problems is, right? Yeah, that don't got nothing to do with the voice that I heard. I know there's a creator.
It was your ancestor, one.
No, I don't know. I know there's a creator. I just don't give the people.
Yeah, but you calling it simple. You calling that the simple shit.
I never have.
Trying to trick us.
I never have.
You just said it too.
How did I say that?
You said they used that simple shit to try to fool us. But they really hating people so that we don't have confidence. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember calling it simple, but I definitely said, yeah, they don't believe in it. They just know we believe in it. And so they use it. They blame it on that. Because, we won't hate them. We'll say it was the devil's spirit that was in them. You know what I'm saying? They don't believe in that shit. Okay, go ahead. Man, shout out to the league, man. It is the boy Swab Boss. SVDL playoff started May 1st. If you don't know, we moved to the... Exactly. Shout out to the league, man. It's the boy Swab Boss. Man, we in this building, man. It's back, man. I had some cleaning and some cooking and some other stuff to do. And so we was listening to the playback, man. Sorry for the muddleness of it, but it is what it is, man. So we are back. And what are we talking about? Let me see. What are we talking about? Shout out to Judah. Judah Nasur, man. Putting a word out there and having such positive things to say about Solar, the commissioner, and the league. Shout out to him for that. Oh, man. Miami private school says it won't employ teachers who get the COVID-19 vaccine. Whoa. Let's see. Okay, here's some bum shit. Let me record it right quick and I can upload it. Okay. And I think that's it. Let me crop it right quick. Send it to the computer. Then I can share. Okay, here it is. Won't employ teachers that has got it. If they got the vaccine,
They won't employ him. And fuck nigga knows. Let's see.
The member's gonna understand that, like, a real member's gonna still be a real member. Like, put your baby before gang. I'm not gonna die for my baby, bro. Like, I'll die for the guys.
You heard it right. Let's take it back.
The member's gonna understand that, like, a real member's gonna still be a real member. Like, put your baby before gang. I'm not gonna die for my baby, bro. Like, I'll die for the guys.
Let me see. Block news. Jocelyn Adams shooting. Let me share this as well, so I can get. Okay. Jocelyn Adams shooting. Second person of interest in custody following standoff on West Side. Let me see if I can find the original. 18 hours ago. 19 hours ago. Okay, here you go. Okay, for Friday. It looked like a fuck nigga too. It all started on April 18th when Lewis was allegedly involved in the shooting death of 7-year-old Jocelyn Adams, who was shot and killed while sitting in the McDonald's drive-thru with her father. According to a proffer provided by Cook County prosecutors, Adams and her father were sitting in the drive-thru when a vehicle pulled in behind them. The vehicle was allegedly being driven by Lewis, according to proffer. Two individuals identified at this time got out of the vehicle, pulled out weapons, and began to fire at the back of the vehicle. Both gunmen then got back into the Audi that they were riding in. But as the victim's car began to pull forward, men got out the vehicle and opened fire again. Then they got back in the car and fled the scene, according to prosecutors. Jocelyn suffered 3 gunshot wounds, and she was transported to an area hospital where she was pronounced dead. Her father, a 29-year-old man, was shot in the torso and suffered serious injuries. He has since been released from the hospital. According to Cook County prosecutors, nearly 4 dozen shell cases were found at the McDonald's, fired from 2 different weapons. From there, Chicago police alleged that the 3 men drove away from the scene in a silver Audi that has discolored damage to its side and a white paper license plate. Clues that helped them track their whereabouts in the days ahead. So, approximately 2:30 p.m. on that Sunday, 2 hours before the shooting, Lewis allegedly posted a video to social media showing him driving an automobile, wearing a red Yankees hat and a black coat, with 2 other suspects in the case. The 2 other suspects in the case were also shown in the video. One of the men were holding a AK-47, which police believe he later used in the shooting of Adams. The video also captured another key piece of identifying information about the vehicle. Images of his interior would show the speedometer that is a unique design appearing only on high-end Audi automobiles. Before the police were able to pull video footage from a BP gas station approximately an hour and a half before the shooting, with Lewis allegedly putting the Audi up to the gas pump. What? Police also were able to pull video footage from a BP gas station. Oh, approximately an hour and a half. Okay. A person offered a business card to the driver of the vehicle. Reportedly, Lewis offering to fix the damage to the side of the vehicle. That witness says he later met the occupants of the Audi in a nearby alley and attempted to repair the damage to the vehicle, causing distinctive color discoloration that enabled police to identify the vehicle later. He also gave the men a business card, which was later recovered from the apartment where police surveilled Lewis later that week. Fallonly, Adams' father was able to positively identify 2 of the 3 men involved in the shooting, including Lewis, whom he allegedly had threatened him on social media in the past. Adams' father also alleged that one of the gunmen belonged to the same gang as Lewis. On Thursday, Lewis was tracked using his Facebook account to an apartment building in suburban Lombard. Officers went to the apartment and set up surveillance, finding the Audi with the distinctive damage in the white pepper plate license plate. While there, Chicago police officers observed the man leaving the building and entering the Dodge Durango. He had a tan backpack with him at the time and he left the apartment. Officers in unmarked vehicles attempted to box the Durango, but Lewis allegedly rammed the parked car until he was able to escape the parking lot. He led police on a pursuit through numerous suburbs and onto the Eisenhower Expressway, according to police. Lewis allegedly lost control of the vehicle between Manheim Road and 25th Avenue. He crashed into a concrete barrier and spinning across multiple lanes of traffic, still carrying the backpack, according to Crawford. He then approached a Land Rover that was stopped the traffic. That vehicle was occupied by 5 people, including young children in child safety seats in the back seat. Lewis allegedly began to pull on the door handle, and after being unable to open the door, he pulled out a handgun and ordered the victims to get out of the Land Rover. He began to bang on the window with the weapon, then fired a single shot that caused the window to shatter. He then pulled the driver out of the vehicle, but the occupants in the back seat, including 2 children in car seats, were not able to get out. The police officer that had been pursuing Lewis heard the gunshots and drew his weapon. He made his way across the interstate, announced that he was a police officer, and demanded that Lewis show his hands. The officer saw the weapon sitting along Lewis' left thigh, and after he allegedly refused to comply, he tried to reach for the weapon, and the gear shifted toward the police. The vehicle at that time began to roll backwards, and the officer found himself in the path to open the door. He then stepped back to avoid oncoming door and fired about 5 shots, striking Lewis in the shoulder, according to Crawford. The officer reached into the vehicle, pulled the weapon from underneath Lewis' thigh, and Lewis then fell out of the car where he was detained. The weapon had 18 live rounds and an extended magazine and one in the chamber, according to police. The tan backpack that Lewis was allegedly carrying at the time of the carjacking contained the same AK-47 that had been used in Adams' shooting, according to Crawford. The proffer. Man, what is the proffer? Hold out to someone for acceptance. What? Tender. I don't even know how they're using it. The weapon he had fired at the Land Rover's vehicle was also used in that shooting. He was also wearing the same Yankees cap that been wearing in social media videos posted hours before the young child. So the dude that got shot her father, that's the cornball dude that made the video. So his daughter was murdered because of him, and he hit social media.
The member's gonna understand that, like, a real member's gonna still be a real member. Like, put your baby before gang. I'm not gonna die for my baby, bro. Like, I'll die for the guys.
So they definitely need to get his babies away from him. And I'm not guys with anybody who will put me before their children. You're not my guy.
Why?
Lance in the building. What's good, big bro? Hold on.
Yo, man, I'm trying to figure out where am I at, bro. You know, it sounds like I'm in the video from yesterday.
You is in the video from yesterday.
So how am I speaking to you today?
You said what?
How am I speaking to you today?
Shut up, man.
If we in the same place, am I in the wrong party? It sounds like you underwater.
Oh, probably because I always have my AirPod in. Let me put my AirPod in and let it connect and switch over.
Okay, bro. Now, see, I'm online listening, and I'm like, you sound far as hell, bro. Is this yesterday?
You know how you would throw something up from yesterday. I didn't even know you was reading live. I would have been said something.
Yeah, I was reading like he said swall. Yeah, man. What's up with Team Numa, man?
I hear you say what?
I said, what's up with Numa, man? How you doing today?
We good, bro, man. Shit. Good.
That's what's up.
No
Yeah, so the
line with
little punk
DJ earlier
motherfucker,
this morning.
his daughter got killed, and he says, the gang gonna understand, man. Put your children before put your gang before the children. I ain't gonna die for my daughter. I'll die for my boys, though. Like, what type of nigga is that?
What? Who said that?
This fuck nigga. Hold on, let me share it so you can see it. Maybe you just didn't see it. I can take that.
Yeah, you can't see nothing on the YouTube.
There you go.
The member's gonna understand that, like, a real member's gonna still be a real member. Like, put your baby before gang. I'm not gonna die for my baby, bro. Like, I'll die for the guys.
What?
Yeah, we can play it again one more time.
The member's gonna understand that, like, a real member's gonna still be a real member. Like, put your baby before gang. I'm not gonna die for my baby, bro. Like, I'll die for the guys.
Yeah, man. Stone that nigga.
Get him the fuck
Stone
out of
him.
here, man.
What, bro? Niggas is like, that's that letting a nigga grow up like a weed nigga with no guidance, bro. Probably just made sure he was fed and put some clothes on him, but didn't put nothing in there, man. Just grew up like a weed. You will die for your homeboy, but you won't die for your kids.
Yeah.
That ain't the most backwards shit, bro.
Mm-hmm. That's some hard ass shit.
What's up, man? What you got for the new season, man? You got some new music? You got that single of the year?
Yeah, I'm finna start cooking. I'm finna start cooking. I gotta be going back to back. Maybe with my blanks clogged up. Yeah, so I'm finna go on a little tangent. Laying down verses and shit. I've been slacking and knacking on the music.
Yeah, that's why niggas old and not successful. We've been slacking and knacking all our life, bro. Having other means to live off of. Never considering this as a way to be eaten with.
Right.
Just dreaming it. Living the life of it. Having the chicks around. Getting in the parties. Going to the clubs. Ending up in the videos. Ending up on tour, but never getting no money from it. It'd be probably hard as probably more talented than the people you around. You just take your shit for granted. I'm affiliated, and that shit just sitting on the internet and only come on when you come on. Nigga, whack, nigga.
Yeah.
You better hurry up and get that shit out here for Bingo on a drop. You and Bingo on a drop fall out, nigga. You be like, man, fuck this shit, nigga, fuck all this, or whatever, nigga. I see this shit happen. You better drop that shit. Better get these numbers up, bro. It's gonna be old next year.
Oh shit. Noah Bingo, man, he wanna redo the beat and everything, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. You better get that shit out here. That shit gonna be old next year. You dealing with a motherfucking producer, nigga. Watch.
Yeah. You ain't fucking lying, man. I want to
Y'all, and then you want to put the shit out. Y'all been it fell out, nigga. He like, nigga, I got a remix for it. You love it the way that it is, nigga. You got the still same feeling. Like, producers, they gonna want to hear that shit over and over and over again next year now.
Yeah. You need to get that SVDL tape out the way.
Rock it out.
Put out a diss song for everybody else and shit. SVDL conscious community diss.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
No, it's do. Don't play with me.
Yeah, no. I know I don't got no wind no more.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I just had to give you the short version.
This shit fell off quick.
See, I faded this shit out, nigga.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Damn, man. 5 more days, man. 4 more days, man. And then we in the playoffs. You ain't gonna have nothing else to complain about. Fuck yeah. Let me see. Motherfuckers be acting so goddamn Reggie. Wish I could get everybody interviewing shit, man. Highlighting niggas. I can't even really highlight niggas on my fuck niggas that hate you but still watch your stream and shit. Make up other accounts, come in, act like they cool. It said most school systems want the teachers to be vaccinated. That's surprising. They don't want them to be vaccinated. Yeah, that's a private school, so that's probably the parents saying, "Shit, we're not enrolling our kids in that school, bro. Like our money pays for this school." You know what I'm saying? This ain't no. So shit, we run how this bitch go.
Yeah.
So now, are you discriminated against teachers because they got the vaccine? Can you do that? Can you deny somebody work because they've been vaccinated, bro? You know what I'm saying?
I think we should just be we should just be trying to find a place to go before they find us a place to go, bro. We don't want no motherfuckers that got vaccinations coming over here. Bro, this shit is a ploy, bro. You can't see this shit is like niggas gonna be. I seen some shit where it was a rat, a mouse in a cage with a big ass cat, and they had a chip in the mouse. And when they flipped the chip on the mouse attacked the cat like he a cat. He go savage on him. And then they flip the switch off, and then the mouse don't know what the fuck happened, retreat off into the corner and shit. The same thing with a cat. They put the same experiment on the cat, ran over there, shook him up real quick, turned it off, and then he got back calm and shit, bro. When they got that type of control over a motherfucker, bro, and then I told you I'm an epic reader, bro. Like I done read every time it's a destruction, bro. It's a worldwide father against mother, sister against brother type war go that's going on and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the niggas is just tearing each other up, like extinction level event type shit. So I don't want to be a part of that shit where giant is against giant and monsters against human and whatever the fuck did happen in the past and all the other resets, nigga. I just trying to be away from it. I don't want my family a part of it, and that shit look like the beginnings of it. When they actually start putting chips in your ass that's microscopic, that can navigate through your body and end up in your cerebral cortex and start to build itself up like a fucking so-called space shuttle. That fucking whatever that shit is in space. They took piece by piece and put it in there until it met up with itself and contract and became one big piece. Fuck that. It's not about to be putting piece by piece in my head and then they later on come together and I
bright-eyed and shit like a deer and just walk, yes, we'll obey. Drive to Indiana, rap on motherfucking suave shit while he gone out of town with his old lady, all jumping on his couch and shit, and then come back home like I don't even know what happened. People playing games, but I done got selfies all up in his crib and shit.
Yeah, man, that shit is some shit. I saw that shit a long time ago when they was controlling roaches. They was putting microchips on roaches' backs and shit, linking them up to their brain, controlling their movement. Make them go right, left, stop, forward, reverse. Then they moved it up. I saw they was doing mice and shit. Or they started at mice and went up to roaches or some shit. But yeah, they said they got flies. They got flies that they can control. Let me see if I can find that shit. Ding dong ding. Oh, does the flower grow? Microchip flies. Or dick bang. Pentagon's new weapon. Let me see if I can show this. No, not that. Check this. Pentagon's new weapon, cyborg flies that are spies. And this is from 2006. The Pentagon is trying to develop insect cyborgs able to sniff out explosives or bug conversations by lurking unseen in enemies' hideouts with micro-transmitters strapped to their bodies. Transmitters strapped to their bodies. The cyborg, half insect, half robot, will be created by inserting tiny devices into the bodies of flies, hopping or crawling in insects while in their larva or pupa stage, so that the mechanisms become part of their bodies and ultimately allow them to be moved by remote control. Their most immediate task could be spotting and identifying the location of roadside bombs in Iraq. George Bush announced on Monday that the administration they'll blame anything on terrorism. If you could connect it to fighting terrorism, you could get some dumbass funding. Their most immediate task could be spotting and identifying the location of roadside bombs in Iraq. George Bush announced on Monday that the administration was spending more than $3 billion this year to combat the threat of improvised explosive devices. Some of that money, the president said, will be used to bring together the country's best minds to think of new ideas. The insect cyborg is clearly one of those ideas. Last week, the Pentagon's Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, DARPA, called for bids on the project. DARPA seeks innovative proposals to develop technology to create insect cyborgs, possibly enabled by intimately integrating microsystems within insects during their early stages of metamorphosis, is advertised. Through each metamorphic stage, the insect body goes through a renewal process that can heal wounds and reposition internal organs around foreign objects. Hey, DARPA, that shit is crazy, bro.
Yeah, baby.
Taz,
I want one.
what's good with you, go? Let me see. They got a
What up, though? What's cracking?
man, same shit in here. Showing this how crazy.
Monitoring crops is essential work for farmers, and it's a job being carried out by busy bees or.
Look at that shit. A motherfucking chipped beat on your ass.
Milligrams, about the same as 7 grains of rice. And most of the weight came from the battery used to power.
That's crazy. Microchip bees, bro. So they definitely can do humans like that. And I think they have. I think a lot of y'all are microchipped. It's too late. It's too fucking late. It's too hot. Too hot. I might get a drink. I ain't had a drink. It's good. I've been missing it.
Lance up here too. What up, Lance? What's up, Aki? You all right?
You heard
man?
that fuck nigga talking about won't put his daughter in front of his boys? He won't die for his daughter, but he'll die for his boys.
Yeah, well, you know, I heard that shit, bro, from the women, bro. You know, the women be around on my channel, so yeah, I have to hear that shit from the fucked up angle. You know what I'm saying? The angle of what y'all niggas gonna do about these type niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get that shit on the this is all you niggas fault side. Y'all niggas gotta get rid of these type niggas. What y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna keep on letting these niggas destroy y'all community? Like that's the side of it I always hear from.
They the ones giving them vagina. Shit, y'all start giving niggas like that vagina. Niggas like that go away and die off. Shit.
Stop trying to raise these niggas. Send them to their daddies. Let them niggas do a bad job.
All you gotta do is just not let them populate. Let them die off. Let them die with that fuck shit. That's it. You ain't gotta touch them. Just let them sit here their whole life and watch y'all eat and party and gallivant and don't fuck with him. No, I ain't trading with you. You ain't gonna be able to procreate. None of that shit.
Yeah, the problem is a lot of niggas don't know who they is until they done did some shit. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the motherfuckers that's you shouldn't have kids with is, you know, you don't find out you shouldn't have kids with until it's too late.
Yeah. Then I guess at that point we could kill them to save the kids. Fuck it.
The dude case shit, you know, he's still alive and his fucking daughter got killed. That's some crazy shit. That's just go sit down and shut up somewhere, my nigga.
Facts.
You ain't in no position to be talking, bro. Shut your weak ass up.
And you got her killed. I know they trying to make him end up some shit like that. I know they on that shit. Well, you made threats over the internet previously, and that continued over to this. So this is all the same event. This is all the same event stemming from you threatening him on the internet. Now he retaliates, kill your daughter. You get that murder. All parties involved.
Wow.
I don't understand it. Don't want to. That shit was crazy.
Swab, melanated out there. Melanated outside. Don't go out there, bro.
She been in the jet.
Don't go out there, bro.
Shit.
She out there.
Cool.
She breathing fire, bro.
That's you who had she got on her wall, throwing darts at it every day. You just happy to have your picture on somebody's wall.
Bro. You have no idea, man. No.
That's crazy. So what about the O.J. Simpson checking LeBron James?
I seen it, but I didn't watch it. What the heck he was talking about?
I didn't watch it either, bro.
I ain't take it serious, bro. It's like OJ, LeBron, yeah, okay.
I ain't click on that shit either. Yeah, then I think Boosie checked OJ.
I got kids, man. They be doing too much on Front Street, bro. These niggas be doing way too much on Front Street. I don't think you can really check a celebrity like that. I think them niggas got better access to one another and shit. So, I mean, what you expect from OJ though? You know?
Nah, I mean, imagine you can just be in an expensive ass restaurant and then nigga then sent a simple hit on somebody to walk up to you and slap the shit out of you.
Man, they pay to take
and they got the money to pay it to get done wherever the fuck you at. They can pay the nigga to get in wherever you at. Make sure it's too much that type of access. In that arena, it's no safety. But niggas not about to come to the ghetto and, they don't have that type of access. They can't find, they got to go through police. They got to have police access to get two niggas in the ghetto.
The ghetto.
That's a different world, bro. When you got the money to have it actually taking it, actually have a nigga head.
You ever seen the other side? You ever crossed over and saw the rich life?
Yeah, I have.
That shit crazy.
Yeah, I have, bro. It is crazy.
It
wasn't my life. I was on the train. It wasn't my life though. I was just able to get on the train with it.
I'm about to say, nigga,
I was able.
His mind,
I had access to the lifestyle, but it wasn't my money. I had my own money, but it wasn't that lifestyle wasn't my money.
We get it. That's your 7th time trying to fix that shit.
Well, I'm just trying to get it because kick rocks, nigga, and Jesus sandals, nigga.
I still didn't get it right. Okay, wait. I had money. And, yeah, man. I don't know, man. Yeah. That's what B. I was like, he went out to LA with Soulja Boy and shit. Man, that nigga called me. That nigga called himself Malibu Bingo. He changed his whole name. I said, man, I'm Malibu Bingo now, man. I said, damn, for real, they got you, huh? They like, bruh, this nigga Soulja Boy out here living at the top of the hill by himself in his big ass crib, rolling up roaches. Rolling up blunts, putting them out halfway for his roaches and shit. I said, damn, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy as shit. I don't get it though.
Hey, you ever been on tour or something like that, Swab?
No, I ain't never been on tour. I fucked that up. We were supposed to open up for Nelly at the Nellyville concert in St. Louis and shit, but niggas and they girls made us late as shit. They replaced our ass 3 hours in advance.
Straight up? Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah. We still hit the highway. Like, fuck it. Hit the highway. The motherfuckers replaced our ass. We got that. Fuck it. We just went and tore the city up. Went to this one place called the Lighthouse and shit. Me and the Fubu was there. I had a fatty girl contest and shit. It went down in that bitch. It went down. That was just one of them. We was like, man, 17 deep. How many niggas was it? Let me see. It was at least, it was over 10, bro. At least 12, bro. And we went and go stay. The what's the name channel? The Zombie Nation channel is the channel with the playoffs. They won't be on the argument league. Went into, man, got one hotel room. We in that bitch deep with the door up and jiving on each other all night. Getting blood, all this shit. And yeah, we had a bar, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. We stayed up late as hell jiving on niggas. Everybody
Right, check.
We started hitting their ass with the wet sheets and shit. What's good, Klein? putting the sheets in the garbage can, filling them with ice.
Like,
Shit.
today is International Day of Rest. So it's all y'all day off work. Just the whole world day off work. Man, you know I got time that day, duh.
Ain't no rest, man. Ain't no rest for a Midwest nigga. Ain't no rest in the Midwest, but yeah, bro, I was hella hard. And we freestyle battled against Averb out there, outside in the parking lot and shit. I can't say before he was Averb, but before I knew who the fuck he was, and he was like, big as he was. Yeah. And they invited us to a party, but we had to leave. Niggas couldn't even afford to live out there another day. Niggas would have to get start selling shit. Buy them motherfucking plasma centers and shit. Yeah, I ain't never did that. I don't know, bro. Yeah, it was a lot, like, cause we was hella deep, bro. Like, Snapping Off was hella deep. It was a lot of fucking personalities and egos and all that shit. And me, I'm alone. I just stuck by myself. I wasn't in none of that shit. And I watched all that shit go up, fall down around me and shit. And once it got to the point where wasn't nobody there, that nigga Bingo just came to the crib like, bro, like, is you with me, bro? Cause you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah, shit. I ain't got nothing to do with none of that shit. Because the shit is Bingo from a rival territory. And so it was like damn and nuts. It was the folks, it was the Vice Lords, it was Fifth Block, it was Ivanhoe. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't never gave a fuck about none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess it was an underlying thing, but I never saw that be a problem. I can't. I could say it didn't have nothing to do with gangs. It was just all ego, bro. It was just niggas just trying to be bigger than what
that's an important conversation for people to understand. You feel me? Because I mean, I felt the same way when there was no truce, right? I knew fucking 500 Crips and hung out with them all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why. Well, I guess fuck niggas get into it with anybody. They get into it with their own people every day. You know what I'm saying?
I don't get on that shit, man. I don't know. Flame in the building, man. What's going on your side of town, man?
That's why when I came over here, I was like, God damn, there's hella Crips over this bitch. But I can get along with it with people.
It ain't nobody but Blue.
Oh, he's the only one.
It ain't nobody but Blue.
Right. Okay.
Oh, no, I think,
that makes sense.
Aqualock and they'll Crip.
They might be. You feel me?
Cause he always
and Sean, you know what I'm saying? Sean the one that invited me over here. And then he left and then went crazy. He don't even come to our land meetings anymore and be talking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Me, like I, you know what I'm saying? I know I fucked up, but still.
No, ain't no but still. You fucked up. That's it.
No, nigga. you supposed to forgive, nigga.
Forgive.
That's
for God. That's for the most
you Satanists don't forgive. You don't forget. You just I'm saying.
Nah, I don't forget shit. You trying to get it marked up. Hey, look. I paid for that. I had to eat that. It wasn't forgiving. I worked through it. Ain't no forgetting. That's like saying something for free. No, it wasn't free. Somebody paid for it. You just didn't. You know what I'm saying? But somebody paid for that to be here. I don't know, forgiving when a motherfucker do something to you and then you just, man, you know what, man? I gotta say, it's all right. Niggas.
No. We got, okay, so we had the conversation about pre-forgiveness 2 years ago. So you're supposed to put that in your mind, but don't never forgive them until they come to you and apologize sincerely and make it right.
It's wording with me, though. It's the English language. You know what I'm saying? Because forgiveness that's a convoluted word. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't mad at you. I don't want nothing to happen to you. But you just can't shit in my house no more, bro. Yeah, you put that shit on my toilet, bro. You didn't flush your toilet, man. You can't.
You're not supposed to excommunicate nobody, man.
Yeah. I mean, excommunicate?
Yeah.
Shit. Hey, you talking to the wrong person. I would do that. I ain't talking to my brother right now, nigga, because that nigga tried to give me $5,000. I ain't talking to that nigga.
He tried to give you $5,000.
He tried to give me for $5,000, bro, on my life. Like,
he tried to get you $4,000 or $5,000.
Yeah.
I thought you said he tried to give you $5,000 and you cut him off.
Oh, hell no.
What the hell was that? No, I don't mean, it ain't nothing up there.
Talking to his that nigga been like that my whole goddamn life. Nigga shot me in my goddamn back.
But see, exactly. See, that's better than shooting him in the back of the head for trying to get you for $5,000. See what I'm saying? That's what these niggas do out here.
If he was well and healthy, you know what I'm saying? If he was well and healthy, I'd shoot his ass. But he frail. He got sickness.
Fuck man.
He frail. You know what I'm saying?
Look, he's serious too. Look at his face.
No, for real. I don't want to kill him. I don't want to kill him. I just want to put him in that uncomfortable ass position of not knowing, like I was, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I gotta live that shit for the rest of my life with a bullet in my spine and shit.
Let's hear from the goddess. See what she got to say today. I've been talking too much already.
Oh nah. Who that melanated goddess in the building?
In the building. Peace. I just jumped on the panel to mess with Plain because I was putting in the chat that he's the Plain even though he's mean.
He must call you mean. And you getting him back.
No, Plain know my introduction to him. He was very mean. Right, Plain?
I don't remember that, but I believe you. I don't remember that. But I believe you.
Act like you don't know.
I'm accepting your observation of how I was in the back chat. In the black chat, you claimed that I was super mean. Okay, so I believe you.
This is a whole new, like Plain be talking about community, brotherhood. Let me tell you, Plain was like a Hebrew Israelite Nazi in the damn Google Hangout. What?
I still is though.
Nah, you don't be talking about like, all us non-Hebrews that we deserve all of this nonsense. Like, I mean.
Yeah, because you know what I noticed over the years, sis? It'd be non-Israelites who are more community activists and more community conscious and more supportive than Israelites. So when I noticed that, I just started stop banging on non-Israelites.
I'm expecting you say that because you know what? I had made a comment to this Hebrew brother, right? And he was immediately offended by what I said. And he didn't even take a step back and reflect about his actions. So I basically told him, if you view me as a non-believer, I'm outside the fold. I'm telling you that based off of your actions, I wouldn't be curious about your deity. I wouldn't be curious about your God. I wouldn't be curious to follow your God. And he immediately got offended and offensive, right? And he said, see, you got me fucked up. I ain't no Christian, right? And I was like, okay, but I'm trying to tell you.
Trent's trying to pull that bullshit over there on my channel.
Yeah, I said if a Christian is dealing with me in love, right? If I'm a non-quote unquote believer, just common sense would tell you that's actually going to get my attention, right? When you're like spewing insult, right? Like you're spewing criticism and judgment and all this other damnation, all this other stuff, that's actually not going to make me like listen to what you're saying. That's literally going to make a person defensive. And he was just like, like mute in his ear, right? So I'm just saying that like my introduction to Brother Twain is like I really like this SVL Twain. Like it's a different, more evolved Twain, and people might think you're a certain way, but trust, I know Twain telling me like me and Twain used to like ask him because he was very, very abrasive. Let me just say it that way. It's a nice word. He was kind of abrasive on Google Hangouts just a few years ago. So like I say that
there ain't no mute button on Google Hangouts, sis.
Huh?
There ain't no mute button on Google Hangouts.
There is no mute button, right? There's no mute button, and it's just like as long as you got you keep having people, so you got 10 people on the panel, right? So I remember having you on the panel, racist white people in there, like people from the UK, people from America, all of us all on the same panel, and you'll be like going in, like I'm like, this is what Hebrews think, like because if you're not interacting with a lot of Hebrews, it's like you thinking that the person that you're interacting with, this is how they all think. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like black men is out here like, yeah, I'm trying to think of something that you said that I was like, oh my God. I think it was like right after somebody had passed away, like either Mike Brown or Eric Gardner or something. And he was like,
yeah, you might be right.
The Most High is having his judgment. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what are you saying?
Like something I say.
Okay then, I know. Listen. I know what I'm talking about. You was like the Most High, and a lot more people gonna die. I said, you know what? Fuck your most. Like I'm like, see, you gonna get me to say some crazy shit when you start saying that. I'm like, fuck your Most High. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what Most High that is.
I said that one time over here, right? I told him, anybody who can die needs to die.
Oh my God. You see, you were gone, yo. You was like gone. You was like gone.
No, but it's gone from a worldly perspective. You don't understand.
I get you, and I can see for me, I'm
not
saying
we can't if we
I'm not going to sweep spiritual stuff under the roof, right? I'm not going to sweep it under the whatever, sweep it somewhere. All right, I recognize that you have a belief system, but what I will do is shine a spotlight, right? Because supposedly us people are the lost sheep, or we're drifted away, backbiters, all these labels, right? Too far, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what the hell you call it, right? People who stepped away from what you believe to be the truth. All I'm saying is that as a black woman, when I spoke to other black women and told them that they was trying to be white, and that's why they turned their hair, and that's why they wore weave, I really wasn't very successful. It wasn't. But somehow when I spoke to black women about the correlation between relaxers and fibroids, right? And when I spoke to black women about the history of having hair extensions and so forth, right? And actually our ancient history that we wore wigs and so forth, the way in which they started to interpret having their own natural hair, they actually started to appreciate it. And we didn't get into conflict, we didn't have arguments, and they would actually seek me out when they attempted to wear their hair in a more natural way. They would say, hey, Mona, come, look, this is what I'm trying to do. So it kind of instead of it building a bridge, it brought us closer together. So I started to look at that into other areas and say, hey, when it comes to regards to spirituality, when you come from a place of judgment, condemnation, I'm warning you, you're going to go to hell, you're going to do like that's really not successful for people who don't even believe in your fucking hell, right? So like, if you tell me, hey, if you don't start drinking chocolate milk, you're gonna go to the boogeyman's gonna come and get you. Bro, I'm not drinking chocolate milk and fuck your boogeyman. See what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe in your boogeyman, so I'm not scared. But if you say, hey, chocolate milk is actually pus from a cow's udder. There's actually 40% of milk is made up of actual pus. When you're drinking pus, when you're drinking milk, you're drinking pus. And I'm like, damn, I don't want to drink pus. See how you could change a person's behavior from actual information versus this spooky, scary, uncertain stuff that as a religious person, it's your truth, but as a non-religious person, it's not.
Okay. But see, now how I always respond to that understanding, right? The information, the technical information of you understanding that it's pus, right, is irrelevant to us because we realize that something is going to happen. We just, you know what I'm saying? Y'all get into the what is going to happen, but we know that there's consequences to things. And so we just stick with that and just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? If we're real about it. But a lot of people just don't give a damn. They ain't real about it. They just talk.
Right? And I mean, so there are some people who are on, you could say, the same team that I'm on, but they choose to like fight you guys, right? So I've been in the chat or even on the panel with people who they actually say things that to me are offensive, and I don't even believe in the Bible, and I don't believe in Yahweh or Jehovah or Yahweh. I don't believe in all of that stuff, but it's still offensive, right? Because for me, I remove the spiritual part, and I feel like people can be part of a community and still have different religions, right? You can have, different types of Indians who are still part of the Indian community, right? You can have Orthodox and non-Orthodox Jews who are still part of the Jewish community, right? So for me, I feel like we can have Christians, Muslims, and Yoruba who are part of the Black community.
But what if one of the religions is based on the oppression of another people that's in that community? Can they coexist?
Got you. So I feel like, I don't know if you're specifically talking about Islam, but I'm going to isolate it to Islam, right? Me personally. So I'm not saying, this is not Wild Boss bringing up Islam. This is Melanated Goddess bringing up Islam. I would say that Black Muslims need to take a stance on how they view their Quran, their Hadith, and X, Y, and Z around the subjugation and the enslavement and suppression of other melanated people, and they need to take a stance of that. Like what I love for Gambia and Sudan and all of these other Black Muslims to just abandon Islam, of course, but that's probably not going to happen. 50% the continent of Africa is Muslim. But what could happen is that those Muslims, their eyes can be opened to they cannot erase the history. They cannot erase all of the fuck shit that happened under the umbrella of Islam. But what they can do is say, no more. You're not going to walk around and call us, what's the term for, not taxpayer, It's like this name for when your hair is nappy. There's this nappy-headed term that they use. That's unacceptable, right? Calling people raising heads, as the Quran refers to some, black people or as raising heads or whatever. That's unacceptable. And continuing to be able to conquer and force people to be Muslims, especially black countries, unacceptable. And I think that the black Muslims should take a stance of that. You see what I'm saying? So I think that it would be nice for them to abandon that whole belief system based off of the history, of course. But if they don't, because they some of them look beyond the history and they look to Allah, right? They look to Allah as the oneness, as the God, and as Allah is in control of everything, just as many other Bible believers, and they understand it. They don't understand all of Allah's knowledge. They don't have all of Allah's knowledge. So I'm not trying to argue with them people.